I'm tweeting it out right now.
But twitch.tv/GameEnthus, mixer.com/
YouTube.
Oh, you guys are playing both sides?
Yeah, we're all over. We're whores, so yeah, we're everywhere.
They don't have any exclusivity money.
No.
Yeah, I got that. They handed me all that giant stack of pennies to be a Twitch partner.
So hey, if the stack is big enough, can I build a house out of all those pennies?
Someday, maybe a shack, maybe like a little shack, but not a house yet.
That's very on message, Asif. I like that.
I know, right? How about that?
You can sell newspapers out of it.
Okay.
I
think I'm following.
Where is this thing? All right, looks like we're online, so I guess.
Yep, I can see us.
I don't know if we can hear us, but I mean, I don't know.
On Twitch, you guys are on.
I can hear me.
Yeah, it's up on Twitch right now.
All right.
With your briefcase logo and JJ and Jeff up for Mike.
Who put up JJ and Jeff? That's not me.
I do that like every week, right?
There we go.
I've never seen it. It just says my name. That's all I see.
Wow.
Hey, you guys are
I do that every week. Like,
you got the bandwidth to stream on 3 services simultaneously? That must be fancy.
Well, no, I'm just doing it on Restream. I think they're doing all the legwork.
I don't even at my house. I don't even have enough to just upload once. I can't even.
We're lucky you're on the show at all. Like,
right? The fact that I can even talk to you guys with my internet is a
miracle, right? It's good to be thankful for things.
Take the image from JJ and Jeff and put my face on one of the guys.
I can do that.
Your choice of whoever the other one is.
I mean, I
don't care if I'm in the garbage can or the one doing the
Aaron,
booting.
why don't you open up Photoshop?
I can do that. I don't want to do it right this second, but that's an easy fix. Trust and believe.
That's an MS Paint fix right there.
It could be like that episode where Ben and I's faces were on the planes, trains, and automobiles guys.
Yeah.
I really like that one. I enjoyed what I did.
You will ever see the artwork that I spend, hours, working on?
I see it on the tweets.
I see them on your tweets and on the podcast sometimes.
I mean, they're not good, but it's come a long way. I mean, I was using Paint for many years. I've been using Photoshop for like 2 years.
Oh, and for real? I'm still using Paint over here.
Yeah,
I use GIMP.
GIMP is great. GIMP is this happy medium.
I tried to understand GIMP, and I was like, let me just go right back to I'm paying for Adobe's, Creative Cloud, so I'm just
yeah, I am too, and I use it for Premiere and I use it for Audition, but every time I open up Photoshop, I just want to cry, and I just go back to Paint.
I mean, I'm only using like 0.5% of what Photoshop can do, but I've come a long way.
I can't even make it to 0.5%. I'm at like 0.2%.
That's why I don't want to pay for their service. I just buy the last version you could buy on a disc, and it was just like, this is it.
That's probably. Honestly, for what you're probably going to use, that probably makes sense. To be honest,
I think it was like Elements 10 or something.
Yeah. I mean, what I wanted to do was just be able to remove the background from objects. That was like the one thing. Just have something I can just get the background out of it and use it.
Paint.net for that.
Oh, okay. To remove like the alpha channels and whatnot.
Wait, Paint.net? So it's a web-based version of Paint?
No, it's a program. It's an application. That's called. I don't know why it's called Paint.net, but it's been around for a long time.
Why are you called Paint.net?
Because Paint.net, the website, takes me to some Warren Paint and Color company. That's even more confusing.
Is it like PAYNT or something? It's like some weird spelling. Paint.
No, it's Paint.
Okay.
If you say so, man. That's crazy talk. But
just don't expect to go to that website and get that app. That's all I'm saying.
It is not loaded up yet. Yeah, I don't know who Warren is, but I don't know.
Let's try it. I'm do a Google search.
Is it paintnet.com?
No, paint.net, right?
That does not. That's
Get Paint.
It redirects to Warren Paint and Color Co.
Okay, getpaint.net.
All right, let's see.
Yeah.
Okay.
It looks really. I mean, this looks like a web page from like the GeoCities days.
Yes, it does. Hey, it's on Windows 10 though.
It probably helps if I spelled get right, because I did gatpaint.net, and that's
a whole
you got gat.
You don't want gats getting painted over here.
Johnny Gat.
Yeah.
probably start this show at some point.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah, I don't know who's hosting this thing. Who's leading this?
Certainly not me.
Oh, you got lucky this time.
I pulled up the Twitch. The Twitch is working.
Good. Are we on Mixer? Is Ninja going to be joining us on Mixer?
I don't know.
I hope not.
Yes.
How about Nanja?
Yeah. Yes.
One of the best lines from that Speed Racer movie.
That movie was so underrated. Like, it was a fun movie.
So
people hate it so much. Anyway,
it's more like Nanjas.
All right. It's Wednesday. What's it? August 7th.
It is.
Yep.
August 7th. It's GameEnthus podcast episode 385. My name is
Holy
Aaron.
crap.
I'm one of the hosts here. I talk during this thing. Tiny is also here.
I am also here. How are you doing today, bud?
I'm doing all right. How are you doing, sir?
Pretty good. I was originally going to host this, but since you showed up, good job.
Hey, if you want to take over, I'll shut up.
Now good.
No, I mean, trust you. I have no problem. You, hey. You really don't want to host it. Okay. Okay. Mike is also here.
I have also decided to participate in the talking portion of the show.
That really helps. When you talk, it makes the show better, Mike. I want to let you know that.
Well, when it's appropriate, I assume.
Well, no, I mean, that doesn't matter.
Oh, you want me to talk over you while you're talking the whole time? Because I don't think I can keep this up, but I'll try my best. What else can I say? How many words can I put out?
Keep doing what you're doing.
That's it. I got everything.
Okay. All right, enough about us. We have a guest this week who has not been on nearly as frequently as he should, probably because
he travels everywhere.
He does travel everywhere. He is a world traveler. So, but yeah, Asif from Shacknews is joining us once again. Welcome, Asif.
Thanks, guys. Yeah, I do travel an awful lot. This is that time of year for games journalists where you just kind of run yourself to the bone and then you crawl into a hole and play video games all winter.
Sounds like
but yeah, it's because our outlet tries to cover everything,
right?
So when, for instance, the Fortnite World Cup happens the same weekend as QuakeCon, we're spread very thin. We're not the biggest team. We're a privately held company. We're not like some big CBS Interactive website. So it's like it's been a rough few months because we had E3. We sent almost everyone we could to E3 to help us with the interview stages, and then we also had people write an editorial during that. But yeah, I do travel a bunch. I try to listen to your episodes. I have quite a backlog at this point, but I'll go back and when there's an event, either news event or a game is released or something, I'll go back to that episode and listen to that one specifically. So I try to listen to your E3 stuff and but yeah, it's been tough. It's been tough to keep up, and I think this was my third episode.
I think so.
So I'm almost at 1% of the podcast.
Okay.
I'm getting there.
I'm gonna be honest. If you make content, it's hard to keep up with someone else's content when you're making content.
For sure.
Especially as much as you do. Yeah.
It truly is, but I love podcasts, and I listen to a lot of podcasts, and you guys are one of the podcasts I listen to. But yeah, I don't listen to a whole lot of gaming ones either, because some of them are, I get bored with it, but I like to kind of hear. I think you guys talk a lot about retro games, because you have a very whatever you're playing is what you're playing, and where I think journalists are forced to play that whatever is in the SEO mind for that month, so we're forced to move away from Super Mario Maker 2, even though that might be the game that I want to hold close to my heart for the rest of my life. I had to go on and play other games. I'm working on some other reviews. But yeah, I think that's one fun aspect of listening to your show is that it's not just, okay, this is the latest thing. It's here's this random game that I found and I bought and it's freaking awesome.
That's what it's about.
Or maybe not so good.
Or maybe it totally sucks ass, but at least it only cost a couple bucks, But I do like hearing that aspect of your show. That's probably why I keep coming back. And then you've had some guests where I'm like, holy crap, I know that person. So I'm always excited when that happens too. But thanks for having me back. This is it's always fun.
We appreciate you. I know you just got back from traveling. I know you spent a lot of time in the air, so we appreciate you making the time.
Yeah, no problem. I figured I would have a lot of interesting things to talk about, given coming off of QuakeCon and Evo back to back. But yeah, it's been a busy summer, and now I'm planning for PAX West, and I might go straight to Japan from there for TGS. So yeah, wow. I got a busy September coming up, but yeah, it's gonna be exciting. I love going to Japan. It's like my once a year international trip. My best friend lives in a town there called Nagoya, so I tend to go in like the week before, hang out with him there, try to get him to go up to TGS with me, and he and his wife both speak Japanese, so it makes it a little bit easier to get around.
Did you get the 64DD last time you were there?
I did. It's still in the box over there, dude. I haven't even opened it.
Wow.
I've been so good. I've been like, I just like walk by it every day and not approvingly. Like I don't want to open it. I don't know. I'm like afraid.
Just give it the finger guns as you walk by, and
I'm like, hey,
completed your task.
I do want to play F-Zero on it because it has a level editor, and I love F-Zero X like so much. Like it's like one of my favorite games. So the ability to make my own F-Zero X levels is very interesting to me. But I do think if I do that, I want to make it like a content thing, or at least stream it,
Right.
Do a really proper write-up of it. But right now, it's just kind of sitting there, and I just look at it fondly as I walk by. It is my prized possession in my collection now.
Well, it should be.
But yeah, and I saw an Apple Pippen the year before, and I didn't buy it, and I kind of regret it because Apple had a console, and it was called the Pippen.
Yeah, like a boomerang controller with a trackball in the middle, right?
It was trash. But
oh yeah.
It's trash that you regret passing up.
I mean, Aaron and I saw that, the first too many games we went to, Aaron?
The Bandai Playdia?
Yeah, the Playdia that was in the piece.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, man, you could have gotten that Power Rangers game and a copy of Bungie's
kind of it.
Marathon.
Yeah.
That's about all I know of the games on that.
Well, Marathon on the Playdia make me throw up faster than the one on Xbox Live Arcade, or
probably less frames per second on the Playdia.
Yeah, I was
just gonna say.
Because that one on Xbox Live Arcade, I mean, I think I like passed out, woke up.
Wasn't
what happened?
An FOV issue? Like, wasn't it like the FOV was so constricted and it moved so fast that like
I don't know how it made it out of cert. Like, I don't know. Yeah, it was bad.
I mean, FPS frame rates were pretty unacceptable until like the late 90s, early 2000s. Like there were some barf-inducing FPS games, and then they ported them to consoles that were underpowered. And, it was bad for like a few years there. Still, I don't know. There's still games that make me want to hurl, man. They're just in VR now.
Oh, yeah. Racing games. At least for me.
Oh, yeah. There's definitely... It's weird. It's just how they deal with locomotion can lead to that for me.
Yep.
But yeah, no, I've been a traveling man. I guess I could talk a little bit about QuakeCon. Have any of you folks been down to QuakeCon?
I have not been to QuakeCon.
Not in 15 years.
But you've been to a QuakeCon.
In college we went because we were playing. I mean, Quake 3 was still the hotness.
Quake 3 Arena.
At this point. So yeah, it has been that long.
It's been like 15 years since you last were at a QuakeCon.
Since I voluntarily stayed in Texas, other than a layover.
Okay, that's fair. Voluntary stays in Texas should be, I don't know, name of an album or something.
But I mean, it looked like I watched your tournament. The second annual?
Yes, it wasn't. We didn't call it the second annual. It's called the Great Quakeholio Tournament 2.
2. That's what. Okay, yes. Because I watched last year, and I thought it was really funny. And then I watched the finals for this year, and I saw the guy thank you because you gave away like a 2080 Ti, and
oh yeah, so we introduced boss battles, right? So in between rounds of the tournament, one of my staff members or me will play you in like a bonus round, right? So the bonus rounds for this one were 1v1 against our reviews editor Blake Morse in Descent. That's an old school game right there. And then, do you guys remember Descent?
I played the one on N60. Oh, wait a minute. I'm thinking, is that on N64? That was on PC as well. Maybe. Oh, yeah, that was Forsaken. Never mind.
Yeah, and that wasn't as good. But yeah, Descent, we did like a boss battle. And then David Craddock, our long reads editor, he was the boss for the Doom round. And this guy was randomly selected from the group. I think it was the group of 8 remaining at the time. And he played David one-on-one, and he wrecked him like really hard. And the guy won a 2080 Ti. So like I always do this thing where the staff could win something or the person could win it. So the competitor won David's potential prize, and Blake won his boss battle in Descent, and he won an iPad.
Uh-huh.
But I like the idea that like I'm basically Shang Tsung, and they just all fight for my entertainment.
So how many souls did you get from it?
32 souls entered the tournament.
Your soul in 2080 is mine.
But it was pretty great. We got it was fun. I love doing these tournaments. I think we're doing something really unique in esports. And if you watch the entire tournament, I think the level of play was just outstanding. Because you have people at QuakeCon who already love id Software games. They love Quake. We started with Quake Champions. Funny story about running tournaments. Tiny, you probably will get a kick out of this. You need a lot of Steam accounts, right?
Yes. Yeah, you do. It's helpful. Sometimes Steam locks them because they think they're pirates.
Yes, that's exactly what happened. 5 minutes before we're supposed to go live.
Oh, God. I'm sorry.
So, funny thing about Quake Champions. I think I've talked to you guys on the podcast about this game in the past. Because I don't know. It just seems like I'm always talking to you guys around QuakeCon. Quake Champions has been in early access for 2 years. And it's free to play, right?
Yep.
Okay. Why am I not playing?
So, funny thing about when Steam locks your account, it refunds all the games you purchased, and it makes them unplayable, but it doesn't do that to the free-to-play games. So Quake Champions was literally the only game on Steam that would run, and we did it for the round of 32 as a result. But we literally sat there 5 minutes before we're supposed to go live and redesigned the tournament because Gabe Newell, right? So that was
that's thinking on your feet, though. That's good.
No, it was great. It turned out awesome. We went to GOG.com and we were able to put together a really fun old school tournament.
Gotcha.
But it was funny. Thanks to Tim Willits, the guy who just stepped down from id Software, for not shipping Quake Champions. Because if he didn't, we would have really been in a bind.
That's a good thing.
But honestly, our backup was going to be to install Quake 3 on all the computers. But it was just going to take time, and we were already running late. And then we ended up doing the whole tournament in one night instead of over 2 days. We did that because the entrants were worried about missing flights and stuff, so we're just like, screw it, we're going to go super late into the evening. But yeah, it was Quake Champions for the round of 32. Round of 16, I think we're doing something really fun. We've taken Wolfenstein 3D and turned it into a multiplayer game by having everyone start at the same time and do a score attack. And you basically say you got 10 minutes, score as many points as you can in Wolfenstein 3D. And we had a 4-player split screen going. It's really fun. There's like a meta to playing Wolfenstein in a score attack mode. Because if you 100% it, you get 10,000 points. If you like get all the secrets, you get 10,000 points. But if you can't get out of the secret, you're kind of screwed. So it actually became one of the more fun rounds to watch. After the round of 16 was Doom 2. No, I think it was Doom 1. Sorry. And that game, holy crap, it was so unforgiving with spawns. I did not remember that. In LAN, you can go back and watch this round. Like it, people were just like, someone would get the super shotgun, get one kill. The guy would spawn right in front of him, get another kill, right in front of him, get another kill. We saw a guy get 5 kills in 12 seconds. And I was just like, oh my God. Like, I can't imagine being on the other side of that, especially because we had our champion from the Great Quakeholio tournament last year come back to defend his title. And he was like unceremoniously destroyed in this Doom round. And and it was like, oh, like I was just watching it. It was like watching Optimus Prime die or something. Like we're just like, no, like this can't be happening. And it shows you how far we've come from those old days of the first death match, you know? Because so much had to do with the luck of the spawn or who got the first kill in a game. And then we did another score attack for the round of 4 or the semifinal, and it was 4 players all at once doing Spear of Destiny. So we did another old school id Software game, and it was one that people played Wolfenstein 3D. Not many people had played Spear of Destiny.
Yeah, I never have.
I think I wanted to, but I never. Yeah.
I looked
no
at
one
the
ever
box
got
once.
no one ever got around to buying it, you know, because Wolfenstein was a good enough shareware for a lot of people.
Yeah.
And I think, you know, people bought the shareware for Wolf, but then maybe by the time Spirit of Destiny was out, they just weren't interested in something else. But yeah, so I thought that was kind of a cool curveball that we threw at them. And then the final and the third place game were both Quake 1v1 because, you know, Shacknews started as a Quake fan site like 3 years ago. And we love that game. That game's kind of at the core of our site. So we did that. And then the final boss battle, which is something I did at E3 also, is versus me. But I suck at video games now, you guys. I'm 38. I'm not good. And I'm playing the best person left.
What are you trying to imply?
You're playing.
So the rule was you have to get 50 kills on me in 10 minutes. And he got something like 34 or 35, and I got like 3. So it's better than last year. Last year the guy got 48. He almost got it. And the way it works is if you beat me in my boss battle, right, with those rules, I double the prize money.
I thought you were gonna say you become editor in chief of Shacknews.
Oh God, I wish. No. So yeah, we had a $10,000 prize pool.
No, you got the 1020.
Yeah, you know. So like, it's like it was $6,000 on the line. So I was like terrified that I was gonna get killed 50 times, and we picked DM6. That was a Tim Willits level. You know, it was Tim Willits' last QuakeCon at the company, so it was kind of a big tip of our cap to him. But yeah, we had a great time. People were super excited. I think what we're doing in esports is really cool because it's a gauntlet style. Mm-hmm. It's not just one game. Every person who's won one of my tournaments is just good at video games. It's not just someone who's good at one game. And I think most esports are that. It's someone who's good at one game or focuses all their time on one game.
Right.
Whereas, you know, the Gauntlet thing, which was totally inspired by Extra Life, honestly, because you guys did a Gauntlet style tournament, Extra Life United. And I was like, this is rad. Like, why isn't this done more?
Because it's a pain in the ass to set up. No,
it truly is.
No,
it's very hard to set up, but at the end of it, you're left with a champion who's very good at games.
Oh, yeah.
And I think that's what's magical about what we're doing. And I give credit to Extra Life United for inspiring me to do it. But yeah, like we're kind of we pick games that we love, you know? So, you know, at the World Championship at E3 2018, it was the first round was Street Fighter 2 Hyper Fighting. Next round was Rocket League. The round after that was Halo 2. Then it was Duke 3D. Then it was GoldenEye on the CRT.
Nice. Well, With and without cardboard.
And then it was Quake again, and we had Fatality come and do commentary with us for Quake. It was ridiculous. So that was our first tournament, and then we went to QuakeCon last year. Had a different assortment because Steam was working.
Hey,
and then
understood.
This year we made it work, but it looked great on stream. But in the background, things were super chaotic and stressful. But I thought our team did a great job of keeping it together. The production value of the stream I thought was really great. And I think it's just fun. A lot of shooter esports, when they show you a perspective, it's just it's one person's screen. Whereas we split it into 4 screens. We were showing you 4-player split screen most of the night, or 2-player split screen. And I just think that's more entertaining, because you're gonna miss when you're like someone producing an esport event, you're gonna miss one person getting an awesome kill if you're only focused on the other person. Whereas we were able to be like, hey, look, pay attention to the top right here. This guy's wrecking, and it was really fun to see a game like Quake Champions presented that way. You don't really see that often, a modern FPS being shown in 4-player split screen. Much like what we're seeing here. But you don't see that in esports presentation very often. So I thought that was cool. And I love score attacks. I think that's a fun thing that we've kind of figured out, that old school FPS games with high scores and lives can be played in an esport arena. And I think any game could be played as an esport as a round. You just have to come up with the rules. But like Tiny said, this style of tournament is not easy to execute.
No.
So I don't know if you guys saw the E3 stream, but it ended with Tony Hawk Pro Skater 3 on GameCube.
That's the version I had.
Yeah, and people were playing as my creative player from back in the day. So he was all maxed out. But it was cool. I ended up playing the boss battle there. It's funny if you go back and watch that. We had Power Stone in the semifinals, and this was an after party for E3, right? And one of the competitors was so drunk. Actually, neither person knew who they were. They basically chose the same character, and they thought that they didn't know who was who at the end of it. So we had to go back and look at the tape to determine who won.
Who picked who? Kind of.
That ever happened before?
Well, when you said they didn't know who they were, I thought you meant both of them were so drunk that they had forgotten.
One person was drunk, one person wasn't. Neither of them knew who they were, because they picked ditto, right? It was the same person.
Gotcha.
They picked the same character. One had white, one had red on, and they're like, "I was red." No, I was red. And we're like, and they're coming in during the stream, shouting at us. So we're like, okay, we're gonna go look at the tape. So that was super intense. That's actually funny to go back and watch. But Power Stone on a Dreamcast was a super fun esport, even for just one round. We did Rocket League in that tournament also, because I just love Rocket League, you guys. The game's great.
I've heard good things.
You've heard good things? You haven't played it?
I've played it, but twice.
Twice?
Yeah.
Why? What missed with you? Do you not like sports games?
Well, not really, but I get the appeal, but it's nothing. I'm not particularly good at it, and I get frustrated when I can't play well. So I just, I don't know.
Let's also put it. So you mentioned earlier, hey, the journalist needs to move on, and that's one of the things. Except for Aaron doesn't follow that structure on this podcast. He always has a list of new games every week. So
yeah, I have a problem.
Yeah, he's not gonna stick. He wasn't gonna stick with Rocket League. So
no, I hear that. But that's the game for me. When I do have free time and I can play something with my friends, I'm sure it's a lot like Overwatch for you, Tiny. Where that's the game that
it was so good, but I have fallen off Overwatch.
Oh, okay. I mean, back in the day.
I
went pro. I reached the highest heights and then I retired. From Overwatch. It's just, that's how it goes.
Did you ever install Overwatch?
I did.
Oh, okay.
I did install.
I have it
played
installed right now, you guys. You know what I do for Shacknews? Every stupid event with skins, I turn on Overwatch and I capture it and I upload it to YouTube, and that's all I do in Overwatch.
So,
but I have it.
So let's. I need to be clear, Aaron. When you say you played Overwatch, you mean the Xbox version I bought you for Christmas?
Yes.
Okay, I mean the PC version. A donor gave you $1,300 to play during an Extra Life 2 years ago, if memory serves now.
Why are you bringing up old stuff?
Oh, okay, cool. Wasn't sure. I wasn't sure if maybe something had changed.
I need this. Yeah, I would love to see him play on PC.
So, I mean,
you'd probably do great. That game requires very little skill. You'd be great at it.
Wow. Thanks.
I don't know. He's not wrong from like certain characters are very low skill level to play.
I like Pharaoh.
It's like the participation trophy of FPS games is all I'm saying.
Whoa.
Well, I mean, it is. Hey, you stood around the best.
I'm sorry. Are you being critical of Capture the Flag?
No.
Or Capture the Point? Because Team Fortress 2 would like to talk to you.
Exactly. Team Fortress 2 would like to talk to everyone who thinks Overwatch invented anything.
So fair. That's a fair point.
But it's. And I didn't mean to turn into the Overwatch hate train, but
I wanted to ask you about one other thing that you guys were doing. You guys were at Comic-Con, weren't you?
Yes, we were. I mean, kind of. We were sponsors.
I was going to say I kept seeing the icon. So.
Yeah, and we were sponsors of the Extra Life stream at Comic-Con. So we were out there sending our energy to Lou as people made him eat all sorts of things, it seemed. Yes. But I wasn't physically at Comic-Con because that would have probably ripped my soul out of my body. Because that would have been 3 weeks in a row, 3 different events.
No,
that's a lot.
You guys sent Greg.
We did send Greg.
Okay, I thought I saw a picture.
That's what I mean. We were there, yes. We had Ozzy Mejia there on the editorial side, and we had Greg Burke there on the video side. And Greg got a ton of interviews, a ridiculous amount. So if you are interested in any of those, the cartoons, voice actors that were there, we got them. We got a lot of the Batman voice actors and Teen Titans and a bunch of stuff. And we love talking to voice actors. So that I think was really cool. But yeah, we were definitely at Comic-Con. I just wasn't there because I was like, I need a week.
I need to not do something.
Them all.
I was actually at home working on the PC stuff. I
was going to say, you need to build a PC.
I was building a PC during Comic-Con instead. And, hanging out with my dog, doing normal people things. But yeah, no, it was cool. We appreciated, the opportunity to kind of sponsor the esports lounge. So we took that opportunity. But yeah, we weren't doing a live stream stage. It wasn't as involved as E3 because I don't know how many E3s I have in me per year. That's I started planning E3 2020 the day after E3 2019 kind
of. Maybe you don't have to plan that anymore.
Yeah, maybe I don't. Maybe I don't know. I bet I still do. If I were a betting man, E3 2020 will happen, 21 will happen, and then 22 is where the wheels fall off. That's my guess because they have a lease, I think, until 2022.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
so that would be the airplane hangar year if we're gonna have one of those again.
We're going back to Georgia. So
I would be so down to not go to LA for E3, especially with the Lakers probably in the finals.
Yeah, it sounds like a lot. Yeah.
It was the worst. When the Lakers are in the finals during E3, it's just miserable. There's too many people in that area at the same time. Even when they're on away games in the finals, there's still
people just standing outside the Staples Center, we're here.
Oh, they have watch parties in the Staples Center, and then everyone parties downtown. Yeah, so it's
gotcha.
Yeah, I don't know. I can't remember what years of E3, but there was that three-peat that Shaq and Kobe had. Those were miserable E3s, and then the Pau Gasol repeat, the back-to-back that Kobe had. later. Those years also sucked for E3. So yeah, I'd be so down to move to like Las Vegas or Atlanta or anywhere cheaper than LA or San Francisco.
Sheboygan.
Let's go to Cleveland. No one's in Cleveland. There's so much room. There's plenty of places for us to stay. It'd be cheap.
Just spin
E3
around.
at the local Marriott.
E3 is like 4 rooms. And I don't even know if we have a Marriott downtown. It's like
Local Motel 6.
It's called the Renaissance. It's a very old hotel.
Gotcha.
Yeah, Cleveland's like old timey money. Like it was like a boom town in the 50s. It still kind of looks like it, but with no lights on now.
Tom Bodette like didn't do his job.
He totally did not leave the light on in Cleveland. It was just like
This is a waste of energy in 2019, man.
He's
he's history's greatest monster. I mean,
E3 2022, Cleveland. I'm calling my shot. But yeah, no, Comic-Con was crazy. We got some news out of that. But I'm just happy I wasn't there.
Yeah, I mean, definitely. But like all the stuff you guys are on, it just doing your thing, and that seems pretty cool.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure. No, we're going ham. We're making as much content as we possibly can. We're super focused on search engine optimization, and that has been helping us a lot. So we've seen solid growth over the past few years from that, and yeah, we're expanding into different coverage areas. You know, we announced
PAX Unplugged.
Huh? Oh, PAX Unplugged. Yeah, because we're gonna start covering tabletop and toys in a bigger way.
Okay.
We're also covering electric.
Sorry, go for it.
Yeah, no, go for it. Sorry.
I was going to say you mentioned it in your editor letter from the editor.
That's right.
Yesterday or the day before.
Yeah, I think it was a couple days ago. But yeah, like we're covering electric vehicles now, and it was something where we started covering tech, and then I was like, the most interesting area in tech is electric vehicles, in my opinion. So. And I have a couple Teslas, and one of my friends just picked up a Model 3, and we're just kind of like we're basically sitting around on the weekend talking about our electric vehicles anyway. So we're like, let's just do a podcast.
I like how you just said I have a couple Teslas. I have a couple.
I did buy another Tesla. Do you want me to explain this? Does that sentence need explaining?
No, it's just you just said it like it was so like a couple. Like I have a couple of sandwiches in the other room. It's like, I have a couple of Teslas.
People have having multiple cars, I guess, is extravagant. Yes,
I guess
having multiple Teslas is probably more than that. So I understand your point.
No, I'm not. I just like the way you just said it. Like just so like it was just so regular.
It was very
like,
laissez-faire.
Yes. It's just a thing, but
throw it in the pile.
But I'm an idiot, and I've already pre-ordered the Roadster. So yeah, I don't know what I'm doing. But anyway, I bought the original Model S, and it's rear-wheel drive, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that thing's instant torque. Well, anyway, I live on a hill here in Ohio, so about for half the year, that thing's a death trap to me. Like it's not really a good car in winter.
It's not
at all.
Oh, okay. So it kind of sounds like my Challenger. So
yes, like it's a lot like driving a Dodge Challenger in winter and just dying on some sort of curve.
I mean, I've avoided that second part so far, but yes.
It's really rough though. Rear-wheel drive cars in winter on a hill, ice, it's not a good look.
Oh yeah.
So I said, screw it. I was tired of driving. Like my parents left this busted ass Jeep Grand Cherokee here when they moved, and I was driving that in winter, and I just became fed up one day in November, and the tax credit was expiring, right? So I was like, screw it. I'm getting another Tesla. I was like, I can afford it.
Go for it. Yeah.
I was like, I'm gonna do it before the tax credit dropped from $7,500 to $3,500, and now it's only $1,750.
Jeez.
So I got a Model X. So I have a Model S and I have a Model X. The Model X is the most ridiculously over-engineered thing I think ever conceived. It's just so there's so many design decisions where you're just like, that's probably made it harder to produce this thing. You know, the doors that go up, you know, they're called falcon wing doors, and so you don't have like regular doors in the back. The windshield goes like over your head, so it's like a cockpit almost.
It sounds like the Homer.
And then yeah, it is a lot like the Homer. It's Elon Musk's Homer, I think, is a pretty good way to describe it. But yeah, I love it. It's ridiculous and stupid, but yeah, it has all these bells and whistles that my original Tesla didn't, because I was an early adopter of the Model S. And
okay.
I got one of the first 3,000 that came off the lot, and it didn't have sensors, doesn't have auto drive. It doesn't, there's no cameras on it except for the rear view. So it's just really an electric vehicle without that intelligence component.
Does it have the handles that pop out when you get close?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. It does have the self-presenting handles.
Did those ever break? Like, does those ever malfunction? Because that seems, when you mentioned over-engineering, it's like, that seems really cool until you can't get in the car.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Totally have had a handle freeze on me where it just like wouldn't register you pulling it. It didn't happen to all the doors at once, so I was able to go around and open it from the inside. You know what I mean? So it wasn't the lock mechanism that was broken, it was the actual handle. So yes, but then again, like I said, I was a super early adopter, so I kind of expected things to go wrong with the car. But you know what? In the past few years, it's been pretty great. After like the first few kinks that they had to get out of it. But there was just so much missing. I couldn't do autopilot or anything in this car. It was literally just a car that's electric. Whereas this new Model X, it has that intelligent sensor network and camera tech and all the stuff that it needs to drive itself. So when I'm on the highway, I double tap the cruise control thing, and the car starts frickin' driving itself. It's amazing.
And then you can sit back and play some video games.
Yeah, I pull out my Mario Maker and I get to work. No, you can't. You have to have your hands on the wheel while it's.
Now that's why that one guy died, because like the car. I mean, the Tesla couldn't tell the difference between like a white van or a truck and the sky. Yeah, and it kept telling him to put his hands on the wheel, but he just never did.
Yeah,
that's bad. Don't do that.
Yeah, no, I'm a good driver, and I just like using it to augment my driving. I kind of use it like people use cruise control. I don't trust cruise control. Like I don't think anyone should trust cruise control.
You probably should not. That is true.
So I think it's kind of similar in that sense. But it does keep you in lanes. It handles curves really well. It slows down. Like it does have adaptive cruise control. So if someone comes to a really fast stop in front of you, it does slow down for it. Okay. So it feels very Ghost in the Machine with it. But yeah, no, I love Tesla.
I don't know if that's quite the thought that you want to have when we're talking about this.
I know. But you're able here's a good example. And this is why I'm beta testing it and not you guys. You have families and shit. But yeah, I'm out there, there's an edge line on the right. I'm on the right lane and there's an edge line that disappeared. Right? So it's just the shoulder with no line. And the Tesla starts like pulling me towards it. And I'm like, no car, we're not going that way. And I just held it and it goes boop boop. And it just kind of turns off the auto drive. And every time that happens, it's logged and shared with Tesla to improve the AI.
Gotcha.
So I think that's cool. But at the same time, from a consumer standpoint, it's not the best to be a beta tester for something that could kill someone else or you.
Or be so aware of it as, thanks a lot. Thanks for doing this. Like, yeah, all right, okay.
But yeah, I'm out there beta testing for the robo-taxi future that we're all going to live in. But yeah, we're already. There's a lot of people in our community that already have Model 3s. The Model 3 is a far more affordable vehicle, than the other Teslas. It starts at 38 grand now. And they announced the Model Y is going to be priced right around 40. So like there are slightly more affordable Teslas out there in the world, and I think that's increasing the addressable market for everyone and making everyone care more about the company. I just tell you, when I drive around Canton, people are always excited to see my car, and they ask me to open my doors, and I'm like, that's weird.
Can we drive it, Asif, for the 8th time? No.
Yeah, I did let my friend drive it when he came to visit, but I didn't let him do auto drive. I showed him auto drive while I was driving.
Gotcha.
How much can you do? Like when you turn that on, what do you do next?
What do I do next?
Yeah, I mean, like you like pull out a newspaper, like how? Like
no.
You said you have your hands on the wheel, but like
take your foot off the accelerator. You just kind of hold on to the steering wheel, and the car drives you. It's you're still driving. You know, it's just the car takes some of the stress away. That's basically what's happening. So
do you like relax as much as you think you would with like cruise control, or like what's the line between like what you do with cruise control versus what you would do with a Tesla when you put it on the auto drive?
I think you're probably. I don't use cruise control. I hated it.
Okay.
I like being in control of the car. So for me to put my fears aside and let the car drive me, I think it's less stressful than just using cruise control. Because cruise control, if you look down for a second, it's going to drive into an accident for you. You know?
That's what you want. I mean,
well, that's why. I mean, you really shouldn't. And they even say so. Like all the manufacturers, like don't use cruise control if you see other cars on the road.
Exactly.
Which is an interesting way of putting that.
But people do use it that way.
Oh yeah.
You know, so I think that's the concern.
I mean, I just find cruise control to be most effective when I'm just trying to say, I don't want to accidentally increase my speed beyond a certain point. I'm trying to maintain exactly what
I know. I'm going past cops.
Yeah,
so I don't want to go.
That's the best thing about auto drive to me is that I speed. I have these fast ass Teslas. I can go really fast. So when I go on auto drive, it knows the speed limit, and it just goes the speed limit unless you tell it to speed, which you can. You can also program how many car lengths you want behind you in the vehicle in front of you.
3.7.
3.7?
Yeah.
That's an option. I think it's like 3.5 probably. But yeah, like
I'll take it.
I have mine set at 5. Just because I don't trust robots entirely yet. But no, I'm working on it.
I mean,
but that's why I have 2 Teslas, you guys. Does that make any sense?
I would do your thing. Like after every winter, I'm like, I should really just go buy a second car. Why don't I own a car that's good in the winter? And then I forget about it by the middle of summer, and then the snow comes again, and I try not to be here.
Yeah, then you don't have to be in. Yeah, you're good.
Tony, why did you buy a Bigfoot? Well, where do I begin?
If I was going to go buy another car, I would go buy, honestly, if I could find my Scion. I love that car. That car was great in the winter for me.
Was it all-wheel drive?
It was not. It was front-wheel drive, but it took me to Canada and back.
Yeah, front wheel's okay in winter. It's rear wheel that's like I just can't handle it.
It also was like driven by a hamster, so like there was no speed to get in trouble with in the refrigerator box I drove on wheels. Bright green, everyone knew where I was. You'd find me in the snowbank. So, but take your shot, do your thing.
Yeah, so I have 2. I named one of them Green Machine because it's green, and it was a machine, and it runs on electric, whatever. And then the second one I named Big Blue. If you guys know me, you know what video game that's from.
I'm thinking Big Bow, but
Big Blue.
Big Blue.
Big Blue. I was hoping you were going to say Tokyo Drift because of the green, but no.
You're close with the racing, but
Big Blue.
Big Blue.
F-Zero?
I mean, I would assume F-Zero. Actually, yeah,
you did.
your love for F-Zero.
Thank you, Mike.
I should have been there in a moment.
Those games are too fast. It's dangerous.
It's a level in F-Zero because I'm not a Captain Falcon fan, so I didn't want to go with Blue Falcon because that car's lame.
Isn't
I'm
Blue
more-
Falcon like the Hanna-Barbera?
Yeah, I was just thinking that Blue Falcon
And
and
Dino Mutt.
Wonder Dog, Dino Dog,
Dino Mutt.
Dino.
Dino Mutt.
Mutt.
Dino Mutt. The
Yes,
Inspector
but I didn't want to
Gadget
go with Blue Falcon for those reasons.
robots.
So I went
You
with
could have
big
done Dino Mutt. I'm just saying. Like,
Dino Mutt.
Well, Dino Mutt's all green, so the other car would have been.
But my next car, I'm going to call the Fire Stingray, which is my favorite car from F-Zero.
I always found F-Zero to be too fast to enjoy. To be enjoyed. I just didn't. I was like, there's so much going on. It's so fast. I don't know what I'm supposed to do here except crash into this wall.
See, I was in college when F-Zero GC.
I mean, even the first one, I was like, I can't play this.
That was great.
I love the first one.
How do
The
people
first
play
one's
this game?
Not that fast.
To me, it was.
It's just Mario Kart.
No,
Yeah.
no.
Oh, it's a little faster than Mario Kart.
It's Mario Kart, though. It's the same.
But you don't have to worry about banana peels hitting you in the face.
Yeah, there's
or
no.
whatever.
Okay,
And I
fine.
mean, Mario Kart on Super Nintendo is garbage. So, like, it's like Mario
I
Kart
wouldn't say
fans.
Come on
it's
now.
garbage.
Mario Kart on Super Nintendo is I'm sorry.
Garbage?
It's
Garbage.
garbage though.
Revolutionary?
Garbage.
Garbage?
Hey, if you want to say
Garbage.
it's not the best Mario Kart, I'm not going to argue. But
You're right. It's not the
if
best
you
because
want
it's
to
at
say
the bottom
it's
of the
trend
list.
setting, we'll let you get away with that. But
Wow.
I'm sorry. See, and like everyone's like, oh, the first Mario Kart you play is the one you like. But I played
No,
Mario Kart on the
that's a
Super
lie.
Nintendo first.
I
And,
played
like,
that first and loved it at the
64 is
time.
the best.
I love 64, but I also
Honestly,
love the
like,
N64.
let's be honest. Like Deluxe for the Switch is the best. Like if I want to play any Mario Kart,
Sure.
it's gonna be
Fine.
that or Double Dash.
Double Dash is good.
I enjoyed Double Dash.
Double Dash is
64
fantastic.
pretty great.
So, like, again, that was a college game, and like we went back to Mario Kart 64 because we're like,
Which was good too, but you know.
I agree, Deluxe is awesome. Like,
Fair enough.
and yet no one ever says the best-selling Mario Kart's the best Mario Kart Wii. So,
No one likes that one.
I like Mario Kart Wii. I played a whole lot of it.
Everyone played it, but
It
it's
wasn't
not
the best one, but I
It's
mean,
not my number one. It was good.
it's like a slice of pizza. It's not might not be the best pizza, but it's the pizza you have.
Well,
it's
wasn't
a
there
piece
like a DS one that was pretty good at the same time?
Yeah.
Mario Kart 7?
Mario Kart DS. Seven
Mario
was
Kart
7
DS.
was 3DS. Yeah.
7 was 3DS. Okay, yeah. Mario Kart DS was really good.
See,
I ended
that-
up liking that more than the Wii version.
it helped that you could play it without owning the cartridge if your friend owned it.
Yes, you could do the remote play. I mean, the same with 7. Like, we played that at PAX East at points while waiting in line and whatnot.
We did do that.
Remember when we used to street pass with people at events?
Yeah.
Every time they announce a Switch revision, BC Terps is just waiting for them to be like, and we're bringing Street Pass back.
We're bringing
I want
it. We got
Street
your
Pass.
letters.
I just want Street Pass, but like as a phone app.
I wouldn't trust them to do that, honestly, but you know, whatever.
They can't even internet right, so I doubt they can execute on that.
I don't know if I'd install that app, but
You don't want to install just a random app that'll shake
it starts ad hoc networks on my phone. No, I'm pretty sure I don't want to start
You don't trust Nintendo?
You don't
I don't
trust
trust-
Nintendo to run ad hoc networks?
anyone, least of all Nintendo.
Then why did you trust it with the DS or sorry, the 3DS?
We're gonna take all your credit card information
Because
and share it with
what
your
are you
friends.
going to steal from my 3DS? Like,
Your credit card information.
Yeah,
I didn't put a
obviously.
credit card into there because I don't put credit cards into
Well,
any
that was
of
your
that
first
system.
mistake.
And again, you don't have to be honest on online forums.
That's a good point.
Like
That's not
just because
true.
they want your
I
address
thought
doesn't
the
mean you have
TSA
to
told
give.
me I had to put my home address and my social.
Great. 555-5555-555. Sorry, I need
Dear
to get all of
ESA.
this.
Thank you for not doxing my actual home address.
Oh,
Dear
uh,
ESA.
yeah. Anyway, but
They're
we have-
by the way, they're at VESA on Twitter. in case
Yes.
I'm at them, not at ESA.
Just in case, you know.
Oh, I saw a lot of people
But
adding them.
whoever's
This week.
adding ESA? I feel bad for whoever the social media manager for at ESA. He's like, what did I do? But at ESA, you know what you did.
Oh god. Anyway, yeah.
All right. You've been up to a whole lot, Asif. You're a
Oh my
busy
god! Yeah, we didn't even talk about Eva.
man. No, we really didn't.
Let me just throw this out here. You kept tweeting pictures of chairs. about the chair game.
The chair meta on day 2 of Evo. You want to talk about the chair meta? Okay, let's talk about the chair meta. Because, well, here's what happens. Day 2 narrows the field down from thousands to 8, right? In each game.
Right.
And by the end of the night, you're not just at, we were top 256 in Smash, and we had, it was Samurai Showdown, Dragon Ball Fighters, Fighters, Showdown, and MK11, right? And they're being shown on this massive screen in the, the event center. There are tables all throughout this space that are for pools. But pools are no longer needed by the end of day 2. And you know what's at each of those tables? Chairs. So what happens at Evo every day 2, every year, is everyone just kind of congregates around that big screen where the main event, for the night is happening. It's going to be MK11, but people start gathering chairs at 10 a.m., 1 p.m., and then by 3 p.m. when Samurai Showdown's starting, there's a lot of chairs over there. So it becomes very hard to find a place to sit to watch these things. And you just start to see people be like, hey, is that chair free? Is that chair free? That chair free? And like, someone gets up. If you get up from a chair for like a second, someone steals it. So I was just taking pictures of people running around carrying chairs because I'm like, the chair meta was so lit. It was like, I think it was 6 p.m. on day 2 of Evo, and I was super entertained by chairs. More so than Mortal Kombat 11, probably. Because that game was kind of boring to watch. Considering how great that game is to look at.
The spectacle of it is pretty amazing.
I was not super into it as an esport. Like, I like Sonic Fox, and I was rooting for Sonic Fox, and he's very good at that game. But out of all the fighting games I watched that weekend, I thought MK11 was, like, the least entertaining. Like, really? Samurai Showdown was really fun. I think Dragon Ball Fighters is just great to watch. I love Smash. Street Fighter V is still really good. And the most hype, in my opinion, was Tekken 7. Okay. Like, to me, that's like...
That's the one that keeps growing. Like, they seem to be making the investment in that community. And...
They take care of their community, and I can just say, based on the arena, the most people on day 3 at the arena for any of the events was during Tekken 7. More than Street Fighter V and more than Smash, which was the headliner, which was super weird. Like, that's just kind of weird that Smash headlined Evo. I guess it was its debut. But yeah.
It also had the largest number of registered competitors.
That's right. It was something like 3,500 people entered the tournament for Smash at Evo. And that's why. But yeah, on day 2, I got my chair and I was sitting there and I posted up in between the Smash screen, which was a little smaller than the main event screen. Mm-hmm. But so I had a perfect view of the main event screen playing. I was watching them play. It was Samurai Showdown, and then I had on my right, I had Smash top 258 or 256, and I saw MKLeo lose. I saw him lose live, and it was insane. He got knocked down to the losers bracket.
But yeah, pushed into losers.
Yeah, and I saw it was like the entire crowd was like, like, how does that happen? But that guy tore through the losers bracket and just is a machine.
I mean, and his comeback to then reset the bracket and then win, like,
he's epic.
It was amazing.
That was one of the best top 8s I've ever seen. The Smash Ultimate one. I thought Sonic Fox did an amazing job in MK11. I don't want to slight him there, but his loss in Fighters to Goichi was maybe more hype. Because I was like, Goichi was playing hurt. Apparently he had a wrist injury. And he like broke down in tears after he won. Because he was so like just emotionally wiped from playing hurt, finally beating Sonic Fox at Evo, having lost to him before at the last Evo and having lost to him at other tournaments. And these guys, their rivalry dates back to before Evo, or before Fighters, I should say. So I think it was just cool to see Sonic Fox handle the loss graciously and then go on to win MK11 the same day. To be in the finals for 2 games in the same day, that's pretty badass.
Oh, definitely.
And I don't think he's necessarily practicing fighters like he was. If you watch him stream, he mainly streams MK11. And it shows because he was a machine in that. But yeah, it was cool to see just high level of play across the board. And Samurai Showdown was hilarious to me because you had like Infiltration and Justin Wong and like all these guys that like old dudes like us remember from the early days of esports. Like, you know, like the MVC guys, like the Marvel vs. Capcom dudes, they were like, Justin Wong plays top 3 in Samurai Showdown.
Right.
And like, that's a kind of a cool story. Like I was rooting for that guy. I was like, hooray for the old guys. But yeah, it was funny to see that. And yeah, you know, we had the first joint champion in Evo, this Pakistani kid, Arslan Ash. He won Evo in Vegas and he won Evo in Japan this year in Tekken 7.
Nice.
And he was just super cool and gracious, and it was really fun to see a bunch of people playing video games all weekend and no one doing anything violent to each other. It was just a very fun and peaceful event based around beating the crap out of each other. And it was great. I love Evo. I go there mainly as a fan. You know, we do have a show on Twitch at Shack where we talk about esports every week on Mondays. We call it The Wide World of Electronic Sports. So we did talk about it there this week. But yeah, like I really am a fan. I love seeing. I think fighting games are the best esports because it's 1v1, and I think that you see some really high level play at something like Evo. You had some. I think you had like one American crack into like some of these. I think it was Tekken. He made it into the top 8, and like it was just some guy, you know, like he wasn't some sponsored person with like a team or anything. He's just a guy who showed up and signed up for Evo, and he made it into the top 8. You know,
yeah,
that's pretty cool.
So I love seeing stories like that. I love seeing like esports stars be born, you know, and like really, this was MK Leo's true crowning. Because they had never had a major Smash tournament like this. This was the biggest Smash tournament ever. And he had been known on Panda Global as the #1, right? But he hadn't really cemented it yet.
But this confirms it.
Yeah, this confirmed it for sure. Because it was him. He had to beat Glutoni, who was a Wario main. And then he had to go up against Tweak, who was a Pokemon trainer main. Which, what the hell? Did anyone see that coming? That Pokemon trainer is good in this game?
I mean, I understand the flexibility it brings, but Giant Bombcast was talking about the matchup of Pokemon Trainer versus Joker.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, good stuff. Like, I think Pokemon Trainer is a cool character because, again, you play with 3 different Pokemon, essentially.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
But Charizard's kind of worthless. Like, I was amazed that Tweak could even do anything with Charizard. Like, for most of the people I know that main Pokemon Trainer, it's usually Squirtle and Bulbasaur or Ivysaur. Yeah. And I was surprised to see Tweak find so much success with Charizard. And I think Charizard ended up doing him in because Joker is so damn fast.
Yeah.
You know? And they might have a Bayonetta situation on their hand. You know, where these DLC characters come in and they're a little OP. You know, we saw that in Smash 4, and that changed the meta drastically.
God.
You know, the funny thing, from day one, I was cracking up because you said 3,500 people entered. They entered. There were some people that were maining the weirdest characters. Like there was a Piranha Plant main. And I'm like, are you seriously at Evo playing with Piranha Plant right now?
Hey, bring the game you know.
Yeah, I guess. And then there was this point, I tweeted it. It was in pools. There was like 30 people watching this matchup. And it was like Captain Falcon versus Duck Hunt. And I'm like, the people want Falcon. Like, they were all going ape over Captain Falcon. I'm like, he's not even considered mid-tier. I think he's mid-tier by a lot of standards. But it was cool to see people maining Captain Falcon out there. It was just funny to see the difference between who was there in day one versus the top 8. But the fact that a Duck Hunt main made it into top 8 was hilarious to me. It made me want to go back and try to play Duck Hunt because he just seems kind of fun.
Well, right, but I mean, save that energy for when Banjo-Kazooie comes out. Like, save that.
I'm gonna start playing that game again when Banjo-Kazooie comes out.
Like, save like there. That's your bird and 4-legged animal combo.
But what if I like Duck Hunt? I was a fan of that game.
Understood. I'm just saying, like, he
has a can. Will Kazooie have a can that explodes? Who knows?
No, Kazooie's gonna shoot eggs. I assume.
So that's gonna be a projectile, not a bomb. That's a whole different
fair.
Game.
Yeah,
and like I really think that if you watch how Duck Hunt was playing, it was all about using that bomb as a trap. And like it's similar to how people with Snake play in that game, where they drop a lot of traps. So I think trap players are a certain kind of Smash player. But I was fascinated by the meta and just watching who ended up winning, or what used to be Lucina, right? Everyone was like, oh, Lucina's top tier. Still was doing very well. Lucina mains made it into the top 8, but they weren't better than Joker.
Gotcha.
Because Joker with Arsene is just filthy. It's like it's like this built-in rubber band comeback mechanic for him.
Yep.
And I think you're going to see the same thing with Hero.
With the Dragon Quest Hero?
Yeah. Maybe not necessarily the same way because the Arsene meter has to build up as you get hurt. But yeah, the comeback by Leo, that was one of those big stories. I think Arslan Ash being the unified champion was a big story for Tekken 7. And then Smash set a record for Evo concurrence with like 270,000 people watching.
Yeah, people tuning in.
So it was funny. I was at a restaurant on day 2 in between Samurai Showdown and MK11.
Right.
Or maybe, before Samurai Showdown. I can't remember. And I was watching it on my phone while I was getting dinner. And the guy at the bar was like, oh, I can put it on TV. I'm like, no, you can't. like, sorry, you just can't. It's not on TV. And that's kind of weird. Like, Evo should be televised. It's kind of surprising it isn't.
Yeah. I mean, what was it? Was it Capcom Cup that got the TNT, or was it TBS? I forget. One of those two.
It's that same thing. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, it hopefully it will come, but I will ask. We got to move on, but I'll ask one last question before we do. Mm-hmm. So, what was the final temperature in Vegas? Because I believe I just kept seeing tweets about how hot. And you went to Vegas in the summer. You brought this on yourself.
I know, but there was a tweet where I said it was over 9,000.
I saw all of your 1,000.
That was the 9,000. That was the last reading. So okay. But in real life, it was 111 degrees.
Ugh.
I thought I was gonna die.
I have never been happier that I'm not heading to DEF CON and Black Hat right now, because I do not need to be out there in that heat. So, screw that. But anyway, we should move on.
Yeah, for sure.
Mike, what have you been up to, sir?
So I don't remember who I mentioned, but yeah,
I talked to you about.
There was a funeral that we had to go attend to last weekend. I mean, had to, wanted to, whatever. I mean, it was out of town, and drove up to Syracuse, New York, which I've never been to specifically. I kind of assumed that would be like a 9-hour drive. It was like 4.5.
Yeah.
So it's not too bad. But we drove up on Saturday morning because the services were later in the day Saturday, and then stayed over and drove home Sunday. So to try to skip to the hold on, I don't know why Google just logged me out. I have to sign back in. Just as a weird aside, the dinner post ceremony was in a shopping center that had an empty corner, but you could still read the facade from where the letters once were, and it said Media Play, and I was like,
Wow.
Media Play, I've heard of them.
I remember that.
And then I looked up on the phone, and I'm like, yeah, there's been no Media Play in like 13 years. Like, has this thing been empty that long
since then?
Or did something else come along and cover it up, and then they went defunct and it revealed the letters underneath? I don't know. But that was just like a weird little thing that I saw. So, I mean, you know, obviously funerals are sad, and I won't get into any of that stuff. But on the drive home, Sunday, you know, mid to later morning, I'm thinking, well, since we're up in New York anyway, well, let me see if I can grab some beer from some place that's, you know, some local New York State, upstate, you know, beer. So I'm driving the car, and I said to my wife, hey, why don't you Google, you know, let's not worry about like a brewery exactly. It's just like some place that sells some local craft beer. Like, you look at Google reviews and find something, and it's just like right off the highway, whatever.
Okay. So
we found some place in Binghamton, New York, which as we pulled off the highway going there, I forget if it was the Mets. There's a minor league stadium like right there. So I don't. That's probably why I've heard of it before. But anyway, the reviews. She's reading me the reviews, not just the like number of stars, but like the actual content of the reviews.
Okay.
And certainly got the impression what I was looking for was amongst what they had. But one of the reviews specifically mentioned nice store, nice people, good prices, high chance of being stabbed. And
wow, okay.
So I started thinking, well, okay, if you know, like when you're driving through the forest and they got the little chart that's like chance of forest fire, high, medium, low, you know, red through green or whatever. Yeah. I was like, well, Sunday morning, by the time we're getting there, it should be right around noon. On that chart, the stabby level is on the low side of things. So, yeah, it should be all right.
Mike, is this going to end with you getting stabbed?
No. But okay. But as we were like getting ready to go, like we went in there, I grabbed a couple of things, and we're like checking out, and it's starting to get a general picture of where that was coming from, and yeah, there were, and I mean, regardless, whatever it is, we got out of there, moved on, eventually made it home. Now, picture in your mind what might be a beer store that caters to people that may want to pull a knife once in a while. Now, you're not thinking like super high-end crafty beer type things, more like folks who need their daily fix, right? So the stuff that we got, put it in the fridge. My wife says, I want to try one of the ones that she had picked out, one of the varieties that was. And she went to open this bottle, regular 12-ounce bottle, nothing weird, nothing special about it or anything. She puts the bottle cap opener on it, starts to pry it open, and this thing went off like a fire hose, you know, to a force that I have never seen in anything but a cartoon. 60% of the beer exploded all over the kitchen. Oh. With a force that I just literally just never seen. And we did clean it up. You know, I think I got all of it, but it was like, yeah, all right. Now I'm afraid of all the rest of the beer that I picked up that day.
Good reason.
Yeah, I mean, I know there's certain varieties that it's like you really don't want it to be like sitting dry on a warm shelf for too long, whatever. But these were some like high ABV like chocolate stouts and stuff. Like that should be okay, I would think. Yeah, not so much, at least not so far. So, so that was that day, and then just yesterday. Mind you, only a few days after we came back, same car we drove up to Syracuse. Driving it just started rumbling like crazy, and did a little bit of my own analysis, and I said, if I had to guess, probably the driver side front wheel bearing, and that's exactly what it was. So I got that addressed today. In preparation for another trip that we're about to take. So yeah, I don't know, like if that happened in the middle of the previous trip or upcoming, like it's like it escalated quickly to pull a line from Anchorman. It was like it went from car's fine to wow, I'm not sure I'm gonna make it home in this vehicle.
That's never a good thing. Yeah, that's
no. So hopefully that's all square and we're good to go. But anyway, so there's some.
You took care of it yourself?
Stories. Oh hell no!
Oh, okay, no. I was just curious.
I just happened to make a guess, and I mentioned that to the mechanic, and it just happened to be true, like what it was. So gotcha. and at least the drive home from the mechanic proved to be uneventful. So hoping it's all square.
Is that an expensive fix? I don't know. Some I know, some I don't.
That's about $400. So.
Well, I mean, almost getting anything done nowadays will cost you like $400.
I mean, I mean, look, at the miles that the car has, if they said like, it'll be like $2,500, it'd be like, you can keep that car. I'm gonna go buy a new one. Do whatever you want with it. The scrap parts are probably worth more than the car itself.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, luckily, it was basically, a car payment and a half or something like that. But anyway, so that's enough for me. Aaron, you went to go see a movie?
Yeah, I jumped on that Regal Unlimited thing, so I'm doing that now.
What, are you just jumping from one?
Well, Cinemio went under, so I mean, I did Movie Pass.
Are you just bankrupting these movie services?
That's not me.
Is that your plan?
It's not me. I mean, let's be honest. Like, the only way that I think Regal the only way they can really survive is to get enough money from a bunch of people every month, whether they go see a movie or not. I mean, and hopefully go and buy concessions. That's
and when they start losing money from doing it, they take their big bag of cash and they declare bankruptcy and run. To another country.
It was Movie Pass, right?
Yep, I did Movie Pass until it just wasn't. Yeah, at a certain point, it just didn't make any more sense to do it. They had all these weird.
It didn't make sense because it was great,
Asif.
For you, it made sense for you.
Oh yeah,
it was like, hey, we got this new platform, and we're gonna sell you. You're gonna get unlimited sandwiches every month. And it's going to cost you $10. Oh crap! They just got more than $10 worth of sandwiches. You guys, we're out of business.
Shut it
and
down.
I was like, how on earth are we surprised that this failed?
I don't know how Golden Corral exists other than to say they provide a subpar product.
2 words: colored salt. That's funny.
What?
I don't know. That food. That's not very good food, but yeah. But
what's in the actual bin that you're helping out?
Yeah, it's not good stuff.
It says chicken wings, but it's actually just the salt pillar.
Pretty much.
Yeah,
and a lot of it.
No, I'm sorry. So, what did you see?
Oh, Hobbs and Shaw. So wife and I went to go see
Fast and Furious spinoff.
Yeah, the Fast and Furious spinoff.
It has The Rock in it, right?
Yes.
So it must be good.
It's entertaining. I don't know if
it has The Rock at least.
Well, it does have The Rock. It is. I mean, as far as like how those movies go, it has a different feel than a Fast and Furious movie.
Movie of the year 20.
But Mr. Sleepy says it's the movie of the year. I don't know about that.
I don't know. Detective Pikachu came out this year.
It did. It did.
And that was surprisingly good for a video game movie. There's your box quote, Nintendo.
Surprisingly good.
Mr. Sleepy said, "I am not even kidding." Like he's serious. He or she, well, they're serious. So
I love Mr. Sleepy. He's from the chatty. He's from my forum.
I figure he knew you. He said hello to you specifically. So
yeah. Welcome.
Yes, welcome. So I mean, it was fun. I did. I mean, there was, a lot of action, a lot of ridiculous things where, like, my wife and I were just, like, cracking up at certain points of, like, this is... Well, we do this in all those movies because it's, like, it's so ridiculous. like when Tyrese reaches out and, was it Fast 7 or 8? And, like, redirects, like, a nuclear missile, like, going through ice. Sure. Why not?
I mean, the absurdity of the franchise is, like, part of it, though. Like, at this point.
Yeah,
they're just superheroes at this point.
I mean, Idris Elba, like Mr. Sleepy just said, throws a motorcycle. I mean, his motorcycle is like sentient, like it just drives up to him. It's nuts.
Like Loco Cycle.
You know what? Because it transforms in a way. Yeah. Yep.
Wow. Now I want to see this movie.
But that's the thing. That's why if you get one of these subscription services, you can at least justify like one ticket. You've paid for it, but you're not paying for another ticket. You just buy whatever, how many others you need. Or if you're going by yourself, you just go.
Yeah.
So, of course, the staff didn't know how to like do anything with it when I went to go get the tickets early. Because the only thing about it is, they want you to use the app, and then you have to pay the convenience fee. That's like $2 a ticket. So if I'm in the air, I'll just swing by, use it, and just get paper tickets.
Oh, but they don't train the employees as to how to use it, therefore discouraging you from using the part where you don't pay the additional fees. It's all designed this way. I get it.
Well, it started with me going up to the actual, the machines, the automated machines, and I pressed like barcode for a gift card. So I pressed that, and then hold up my personal barcode to that. It really crashed the machine. I love that. It was at that point that I walked up.
Does not compute.
It said like, there's an error. So yeah, it's ridiculous. Like, but I did like the end. I like how they kind of wrap it all up. It was a fun movie. I mean, you know why you're going. You're not going because it's gonna make you think harder. I mean, that's.
Are they going to make a second one? Is it going to be Hobbs and Shaw 2?
See, I don't know, because apparently Tyrese was really... I mean, Tyrese had some issues with The Rock, period, but he was upset that they made the spinoff before the 9th movie came out, because, he
was upset about that before, but now that the movie's come out, he was kind of... He had posted something. I don't think it was Twitter. One of those other Instagram or something. Whatever.
Yeah, I don't follow him.
Where he's just like, hey, it's not making as much money as the actual Fast and Furious movies. And then when people are like, hey, that's kind of in poor taste, he like pulled it down.
But he's not. I wouldn't have said that. But let's be honest. If you look at all the box office for like the last couple, they make a lot of money, but they've been steadily on a decline.
Yeah.
But
it's almost like making one of these every other year is going to dilute the franchise somehow.
Kinda, sorta.
But that wouldn't happen with John Wick. Because that movie, we need like 80 of them.
Yeah, I went into 3 like, I love John Wick. I went into kind of like, I don't know. 3 was crazy. I love 3.
3 is so good.
Nuts.
That's my movie of the year.
When the horses were killing people, I was like, this is why I paid for this movie. It was a horse killing someone.
It won me in the library. I was like, oh, I'm sold. I'm like, this is a fantastic movie.
Yeah,
that library scene is wonderful. This isn't a spoiler, but towards the end, there's that scene. Have you guys all seen the movie?
No, I haven't even seen the second one yet.
Okay, this is not a spoiler. There's just a scene where he goes repeatedly through so many panes of glass. It's just comical. Like, I just started laughing.
Never really got cut.
Like, I was like, how many times can you throw Keanu Reeves through glass? It was a lot. I need to watch it again and count. But it's at some point I just started laughing at the movie. Like, it wasn't like a bad, like, man, this movie's bad. I was just like, it's so absurd and great.
Now, how about that scene like where the somebody has like their eyeball like impaled,
Sure.
like that just there was some cringeworthy stuff in there. Just like, oh gosh, like, whew, yeah,
vicious.
That's
vicious.
The word. That is the
It's
word.
a vicious movie.
Mr. Sleepy said that apparently it was a similar controversy when they did Tokyo Drift.
I think he was asking if.
Was he asking? Oh, I don't remember.
Fast and Furious was in a different spot then.
It was a whole
I
nother
thought,
movie back then.
Yeah.
I mean, at that point, it just seemed like they were transitioning into straight to blockbuster territory.
Yeah.
Well, you gotta remember. So, like, the whole reason that Vin Diesel shows up at the end of Fast and Furious was so that he could get Warner Brothers to agree to make more Riddick movies. Like, that was his, like, I will show up in your movie, but there's all my conditions, including, hey, you have to go make the Riddick.
The second
trilogy.
Riddick was not very good. I never saw the third one.
The third one's like a story about his dog. Weirdly, kind of actually a lot like John Wick.
Nice try. Vin.
So it's a weird parallel now that I think about it. I have to rewatch it just to confirm that. But like, yeah, it's a lot about his dog. But yeah, no, the whole reason Vin Diesel shows up in that movie, just at the end, he's not in the movie for anything other than the last 5 seconds.
That is true.
And then they tie all of that into the newer movies since they made them.
that's when they then revise it because Tokyo Drift was at the end.
But the thing about Tokyo Drift is like, I mean, they killed Han twice in the series, but they killed him for nothing. Like there was no like he dies in Tokyo Drift, then they what do you call retcon it?
Well, no, they don't retcon it. Tokyo Drift is at the end of the timeline.
No, they retcon it.
No, that they redo the shot from Tokyo Drift in 5 where he dies again. It's the exact same shot.
No, but Deckard Shaw kills him.
No, he dies. Deckard Shaw is the reason he died in Tokyo Drift.
Right, it is the same scene.
It's the same
It's
scene.
just a different camera angle and the reveal as to how that happened.
Yeah, like it's all Deckard Shaw's, but it's the same scene. Han, because if you were to put these on a timeline, Tokyo Drift was at the end
it felt
until
like a
7.
retcon. I got to watch it again.
Like, it is that they introduced Jason Statham's character into it, but Han dies at the exact same spot.
Yeah,
like,
pretty much the least believable thing about all of it is that everybody has a flip phone in like
but like
the mid.
Didn't he die during the day in Tokyo Drift? Yet Jason Statham kills him and then calls and like talks trash about the fact that he just killed him.
No, because so if you remember correctly, they're racing around.
And I don't
Tokyo.
remember correctly, by the way.
Okay,
I think we established that.
They're racing around Tokyo, and like they magically make the crowds of people crossing the street like clear the path for the cars that are coming through, because there are thousands of people in these intersections that they're going through. And then Han gets T-boned, then he falls, then his car flips over and you see it start leaking, and Forrest Gump kid comes out and says like, oh, I'm gonna go save him. And he doesn't. I'm not sure if this is right anymore, but I'm almost certain the white kid from Tokyo Drift was also one of the kids in Forrest Gump.
One of the kids. I was gonna say, like, Haley Joel Osment, as far as I know, was not in Tokyo Drift.
No, on the other hand,
that attitude,
Haley Joel Osment was in The Boys, and if you haven't watched The Boys yet, pretty good in there.
Interesting. Okay,
I'm not watching it because they canceled The Tick.
I am very disappointed they canceled The Tick. I enjoyed the heck out of The Tick.
They canceled The Tick. Good.
Because no one watched it.
I watched it after it got canceled, and I feel bad. And it was good, and they should uncancel it.
So I started
Bezos has so much money. Why did The Tick have to go?
I don't know. And they were trying to shop it around, but they announced like, hey, we can't.
Mike, I don't know if you can see this, but Mr. Sleepy says all of my favorite blockbusters now have a professional wrestler in it. John Cena in Bumblebee, for example, and that movie was great.
Oh no.
That's what you were saying.
No, I don't think I actually talked about it like on the recorded part of any of the shows, but like having finally finished the Bumblebee movie, it's just only like 3 good minutes in the whole movie, and then the rest
really
of it's just
good
trash.
Minutes, though.
It's just awful. It's the same thing. Every single one of these stupid Transformers movies that I've seen, at the end, there's like a quick little tease of, I promise the next one isn't going to be garbage. And then it's worse than the one before it. It got so bad that I think it was either the third or the fourth. I don't even remember which one. It was like it's like the end of the first one. Optimus Prime stares at the sky and he's like, "I swear the next one will be better." And at the end of the second one, he looks up to the sky and they're like, "Yeah, some more Linkin Park's gonna play." And he's like, "All right, no, for real, this time the next one's gonna be good." The end of the third one, he just straps on a backpack and he just goes, "F this, I'm out of here," and he just flies away like to his own death. He's like, "I can't take any more of this." And then the next movie starts, they just find his body drifting off in space because he's like, I don't even want to be part of this anymore. And then they drag him back in like it's, Godfather Part 3.
I don't get it. Why don't they just, like, the first 3 minutes of that movie, why don't they just make that movie?
Sure.
Why won't they do that?
Yeah. I want just a big-ass action movie of Transformers.
That's it.
I do not want
Transformers.
You don't need their human pals.
We don't need Wiki and...
I mean, I'm not saying you can't have any humans. Just don't make them the focus.
Yep.
You can have humans looking up and screaming in terror as they're trampled to death. That's okay.
Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah.
Bring back Shia LaBeouf to get stepped on.
Yeah, it's all right. He just doesn't have to have a role. Just have him scream.
When they killed T.J. Miller in that one, I was like, wow, the comic relief guy just died. Like,
they
we have another 2 hours of this movie.
45 minutes they kill him, and then they have a 15-minute scene about Cinderella laws.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. That
was
Transformers.
That's why I never bothered watching the last Michael Bay one. I was like,
I didn't watch it either.
Oh, I saw it in theaters.
Although I should say I did after watching Bumblebee, it was like it's still on. I had access to it on something or another, and I'm like, hey, I'll just start it off, and it was just like, what's this? Anthony Hopkins is doing the voiceover. He's just talking about like who knows even what, and then like the Crusades are happening as Transformers fall from the sky, and it's like,
like
all right, I don't even care, whatever.
Yeah. All right, well, I'll just wrap up. Apparently, Netflix is going to have a Resident Evil TV show, and that could
Live
be
action?
a thing.
Did you see this Unicron Transformer?
Oh, the $700 one?
Yeah.
Yeah, I looked at it.
What do you think?
Like, nah, it's not for me. I mean, it just honestly, like, it doesn't even. It looks like Unicron Lego set to me. Like it's. I mean, it's cool that they were able to do it, but I mean, everybody talking about it. It looks so good. I wish I could, I want it for my. It's like, nah, I don't want that thing.
I want it.
That thing looks just. It's
I mean, you can get it and put it right next to your USS flag from GI Joe and whatnot. It'll be fine. So.
I don't want one of them either.
It seems humongous. So.
Now, if they sold an Optimus Prime that was so big that you could actually get in it and drive around.
Well, now you're being ridiculous.
I mean, that you mean
if they
listen
sold
to that?
If they sold a semi, is that what you're like?
Yeah, but it's still transformed.
Hasbro to get into the semi truck business,
right? But it doesn't
have
to be
division,
like
Mike. I don't know
full size, but it could be like Power Wheels, maybe a little bit bigger than that. So like I could get in. That's all I care about.
Okay, so you want a Transformer that's basically Power Wheels size.
Well, but it has to be a little bit bigger because I can't physically fit in that.
Right? A little bigger than Power Wheels.
Yeah, like Power Wheels times 2.
So like a golf cart size.
That's it.
But
I
also
want a golf cart
Optimus Prime
that also transforms.
Okay.
It's got to have the trailer and it's got to have roller in the back.
Does the trailer just come out of nowhere? Also, like, is that?
Yes. Oh, it has to. If I got to figure out where that trailer goes when it transforms, then I'm not in it anymore. Forget it.
Yeah. What? They never explained that. The trailer just appears.
Oh. Do you? Well.
Well, no.
We don't have enough time to get into the explanation of what happens to the trailer. So let's.
And then Sleepy is asking Tesla and Transformers tie-in with the new semi-truck. I don't know. I doubt it. Michael Bay. I think GM has their hooks in Transformers.
Pretty heavily. So,
because that company needs to spend money on Hollywood tie-ins.
Right. Well, they got to figure out what to do with all that bailout cash, and it's not paying U.S. employees. That's for sure.
They're just hurrying up so they can get the next round of bailout money. Yeah. Right. Sorry.
No worries.
I'm from the Midwest. I have feelings about U.S. auto companies.
Understood.
Tiny, what's going on with you?
Honestly, I did nothing this weekend, and it was great. I didn't have a show to go to. I didn't have a convention to do. It was wonderful. I have nothing to report.
Oh, man. Have any of you guys played Super Mario Maker 2?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's check it.
Yeah. But, yeah, like, I catched up on some work and whatnot, but otherwise, I wasn't running a booth. It was wonderful.
That sounds so cool.
Like, exactly. Like, I didn't have anything to do, and it was... I mean, I wasn't at a wet. So, Asif, I don't know if you listened to the last pre-show yet, but Sunday was a wedding in New Jersey on top of a goddamn mountain in a full suit. It was wonderful.
Was it hot?
Oh, God. The gondola ride down was terrible.
Yeah. Summer weddings outdoors are just brutal.
So, but yeah. So this weekend, nothing. I was super happy with that. And next weekend, it's time to start shows again. So, anyway, but yeah. So, I mean, we can move on to feedback. What did Cody have to say, Aaron?
Cody said, games as education and entertainment always felt like sugar-coated broccoli to me. As a kid, I was diagnosed with multiple learning and memory disorders. Teachers couldn't read my handwriting. I couldn't memorize my spelling words and that fun stuff. All that fun stuff. I ended up having to lug around a 13-pound laptop in 6th and 7th grade just so I could write. I hated it. Mario and his type teaching game became my nemesis on that monocolor box of doom. I hunt and pecked for years before I could type. What changed? 1999, SOE, EverQuest. I was getting higher and higher level. I wanted to be the best guild on the Saturn server. Order of the Phoenix. Their GM was a brash jerk who was very vocal on the EverQuest forums and trashed my spelling and typing. So over the years, I just played and got better. Peer pressure and a nearly impossible goal. No edutainment required. I never got the...
Got into the guild.
I never got in the guild, by the way. So I guess the crux of his emails about... what is the crux of his email about? I mean, obviously he has some struggles.
If we're gonna talk about edutainment real quick, so when I was my undergraduate degrees in education, I used the Civilization Civ 3 mod that honestly Canadian Education Department developed, so you could talk about like Native peoples and the different tribes and how. Their kind of social structures worked, as well as the tools they used. I also built a game in GameMaker based on Quantum Leap for teaching Roman history, and got a great score on that. So, like, I mean, it can be value, but it needs to be a fun game to start with. Like,
yeah, definitely has to be fun.
But I mean, the last one I did, which probably wasn't as fun, I modded Doom as for a teaching technology course, where I put the Louvre, essentially I remodeled the Louvre in Doom, took all the guns out, and then had a magnetize function so that the teacher could draw all of the avatars to whatever spot they were at. And the only question I ever got from my teacher was, did I license the content? I was a sophomore. I was a sophomore in college. Cool. I called the Louvre and like, hey, I'd like to license all your content. So like, yeah, it's all like, I don't know. You have to. They're good and bad set. I loved some of the Learning Company games back in the day. I can remember playing, like, even Number Munchers and that kind of stuff. So.
Yeah, Math Blasters.
Exactly.
Yeah, I remember I had to get my parents to, like, you get those Scholastic things, and I wanted games, so I was like, yeah, give me Math Blaster. I'll be better at math. I mean, I was all right at math, but it was a game, so
definitely taught math, though. You had to solve math problems to shoot at aliens. So.
Yeah. And Mr. Sleepy mentioned Mavis Beacon.
Teaches typing,
Teaches
yo,
typing, yeah, that's-
and the different modules that were in there and whatnot. Yeah. So
Carmen San Diego taught me about bad puns. I mean, just, it's more that than geography, but whatever,
Yeah, it taught you how to like make sure you had plenty of muscles to carry that encyclopedia around when you brought it to school.
And
That
the
it did.
Oregon Trail taught me about dysentery.
I was going to say
Exactly.
it taught me how to shoot all the buffalo because that was the best part of that game.
Yeah.
So
You brought back 100 pounds.
But yeah, I think
Why?
So you murdered them for nothing.
Newer games that are kind of educational or whatever, Brain Age or Big Brain
Brain
Academy,
Age was fun.
those were fun and those were good for your brain.
Yeah.
And they actually had like a metric that you could improve. Like it was like your brain is this years old.
Right.
So the pseudo science behind that's a different question.
Yeah,
But,
sure. I'm not talking about the real.
I mean, even the intention that Assassin's Creed had with Origins and its education mode, it definitely goes over. There's definitely some things that they do not want to approach from that society, so they kind of gloss over that. But like, there's value still even behind that. So, I learned economics and talking to women in Leisure Suit.
Yes. Mr. Sleepy.
Oh,
That's one
serious
thing.
knowledge.
I don't. Granted, I played a lot of Sierra games when I was a kid, and Leisure Suit Larry was one of the ones that I had access to a questionably legal status version of.
Mhm.
Much
Filthy
like
pirate.
all the other Sierra games that I had. So I had it, and it's just I was just something. I think because I saw a thing. Somebody said something about like one of the Larry remakes or something, and I just started thinking about the game. And as a kid, I never quite grasped the because the one part, like in the sort of early part of it, is there's a prostitute, and you need to get by the guy guarding the door so you can go upstairs and get with the prostitute. And one of the ways is you can give him money as he's owed to allow you to go upstairs.
Right.
But you can also trick the guy and then just straight up have sex with the prostitute and nobody gets paid. And it's like, you get more points for that. Like, wait a minute now. Thinking about it, in terms of an adult, it's like, you're just ripping the people off. How is that the better solution?
I mean, for Larry, it's the better solution.
I guess. If that's the case, why not have one of the options in the game just be like, just go to the store and buy a handgun and just start robbing everybody instead of going to the casino?
Because
That was DLC.
there's a limited scope there.
It's like as a kid, it's just like whatever. There's the solutions to the puzzle and that's it.
But yeah, at its core, though, Leisure Suit Larry is a problem-solving game, right? And
That it is.
Yeah,
so that's edutainment now, right?
yeah, the Sleepy said in the chat, that's edutainment. No, I think it's a problem-solving game. It's just that the problems that you solve, like you said, are not moral. So I think at the time it was super edgy, but then you look back at it now and you're like, this game
is quaint.
And now they have the remake called Wet Dreams Don't Die. Or Dry. Yeah. Wet Dreams Don't Dry. My bad. And that just released on iOS today.
Or is there another one since then?
Wait, what?
Al Lowe actually participated in one of the remakes a few years ago.
No, this was a new team.
This was the I think you're thinking of the Kickstarter one.
Yeah, the Kickstarter one, but then right as the game actually released, there was like a major falling out, and then Al Lowe just was like, "Oh, screw you, I'm out of here."
Right.
But I think there was another one after that one.
Yeah,
yes.
That's the one I'm talking about.
Okay.
And it's not terrible, but it's very dated and weird. But they also have they added modern things like, their version of Tinder in the game and stuff like that. So it's funny to see Larry, still that Larry that be thrusted into present day single life. So it's actually kind of funny. I played a little bit of it at PAX West, and we actually reviewed it at Shack because We review video games like that sometimes. But yeah, it's out on iOS today. That's why it came to my mind. But yeah, I hear you. It's weird that game rewards you for being, I don't know, evil. But you could look at Grand Theft Auto has missions like that. So it's not.
There's a precedent.
Yeah, I think honestly, I guess Leisure Suit Larry kind of set that precedent.
So, yeah. Well, I think beat 'em and eat 'em, kind of,
Yeah.
I don't know why I mentioned that, but here we are.
And here we are.
Yeah, we talked about this kind of before we started, but I threw a bunch of stuff up here. We don't have a whole lot of time to talk about it, but people know about the ESA leak. Unfortunate.
Don't go there. Don't look at it. Don't use it.
Yeah.
Leave my friends alone.
Definitely don't harass people.
Yeah.
Leave my friends alone, please.
Yeah.
That's terrible.
But I think a lot of people are going to end up moving.
That's bad. I mean, that's
pretty awful.
Not cool, man.
Nope. But it's for peace of mind. I think it's what's going to end up happening.
Wow.
Which sucks.
And I mean, I would assume anybody that's moving as a precaution, not going to do that again for signing up for E3 in the future.
No.
Yeah. So wait, what is this Valve leak?
I think Valve leaked the Street Fighter V.
E-Honda.
I guess E-Honda.
Oh, that was
Poison.
Valve?
Yeah, they apologized for it too.
Oh.
Yeah. So on the outline, it's Valve leak. So Valve, accidentally leaked Capcom Street Fighter V announcement. Yeah.
Oh, that sucks. That was going to be the big Evo reveal.
Exactly.
That sucks.
Poor Edmund. So.
Oh, I mean, I'm happy he's finally in the game that he should have been in when it shipped.
Exactly.
That game. Man, the way that they have this pomp and circumstance for stuff that should have been there to begin with. I'm just like arcade mode. Like things that they
added controller support. Like what?
Like enough Street Fighter V. Give us MVC4 and make it good.
Yeah. Well.
At this point, over the last couple of them, I don't care what MVC is anymore.
MVC Infinite was terrible. I hear you, but I don't know. I still love me some Ultimate MVC3.
And now that Marvel is all united again, we could actually have a game that has the proper characters.
That's what I'm saying. You could finally have the X-Men,
right,
and all of the gang from those Disney movies everyone knows and loves. Iron Man, right? Everyone loves Iron Man, right?
Everyone's a big fan.
How's he doing? Haven't seen him since in Infinity War, or was it Endgame?
Yeah,
he's in Endgame. Spoilers.
Oh, my bad. Sorry. Spoilers for the movie everyone saw already, except for me.
Well, yeah, I haven't seen it either.
Mike hasn't seen it either, so
maybe next week or the week after. I don't know.
It's on sale, right? Digitally.
It's on digital right now.
Yeah.
All right. I did forget to mention this past week was SAAM Arcade, which is the Smithsonian American Art. But one art museum. One of the portrait gallery. They do a gaming thing, and or take the two youngest ones there. And,
oh, did you go?
Yeah, we did. We had a good time. I saw Tanya there. I didn't get a chance to stay for the keynote because they didn't want to. They want to do other things. So we had a good time. There's a game there. One of them stands out. Was two. It was like Twister, but I guess I'll throw a picture into the show notes. It was like Twister, but you just used it like with your hand. So like this like 8-sided. There's like a bunch of PCBs all put together with all these like those like coily door stops.
Yeah.
It's like a whole bunch of those. So then like when the game starts, it like flashes different color LED because like around them like the base are like a ring of LEDs. So you put your finger on it to register like, hey, I'm going to be blue. And then when you see other blue ones, you want to put your finger on it. And it just gets messy because everyone else is doing the exact same thing. So it's just everybody trying to contort and twist their fingers and their hands to touch all the different corresponding coils. It was pretty neat. That's just one mode. It had a bunch of modes on it. So
okay, cool.
And then we played this. It's like an escape room kind of thing. It's a game called Tracking Ida. It's about Ida B. Wells, who was an investigative journalist in the 1800s, investigating lynchings. and the woman actually at the booth, she was recording us while we were playing it, which is kind of interesting. But that was fun. Like, you know, the girls now you looking for clues, and you want to set up like a timeline of like incidents that happened and how things, you know, and then you're unlocking different parts. And the thing about it is they only have one game because like in a big chest, and they're only able to bring parts of it, unfortunately. But for what they had, it was pretty cool. I like to play it again, but it's the kind of thing where you can't really make more than one easily, unfortunately. So
Yeah.
that was pretty neat. And then we went from there, a bunch of stores, well, 2 in the area, 1 in Maryland, 1 in DC. We're doing pop-up GenCon, where GenCon would just send a box of some of like the games they were going to be featuring to different tabletop stores, and you can check them out. So we went to a place called Labyrinth Games in DC and tried a couple of games here. It was fun. We tried Point Salad and Mental Blocks. Point Salad is a card game where like you have to either pick 2 vegetables or you pick like a points card, which is kind of neat. It's hard to, well, I'm not gonna describe it, but basically like you want to have the most points at the end of the game. So you pick a card that might say like 3 tomatoes are worth 10 points. But if you pick that card and you haven't fulfilled it, you can convert other point cards into a vegetable card. I know tomatoes are a fruit, but just, you know, but you see my point. And then Mental Blocks is pretty interesting where like you want to build a shape made up of like cubes and blocks and because half cubes, so, you know, anyway. And everybody has like a picture of a side of it, but you don't know what the whole thing looks like. So you work together, like you have like 10 minutes to figure out how you're going to put all these pieces together to look like everyone's side, which theoretically should look like what the object actually is. We failed. We were very close, but we had a good time. So
good.
Yeah. And no, that was pretty much it for that. And then I guess Rockstar said they're going to start paying their testers full time.
Oh, they brought them. They're no longer contractors.
Yeah, I guess they're actual employees now.
Right.
Okay, because they treat their actual employees great too.
So well, right? Now you can stay for 100 hours this week.
Yeah, now that you're full time.
We can beat you.
Congratulations, game tester.
Yeah.
Oh man, that's great. I think game testers deserve more money and rights, so I'm not going to make fun of that too much. But yeah, Rockstar's not.
Yeah, they're not known for like. You know.
Yeah, I know.
I've read some report like in the last week that somebody in like an employee of the company was like, yeah, since all this came out, things have been significantly better.
One big difference was when, in response to the Kotaku article, it said that people could now speak to journalists, whereas before they had a gag order.
Yeah.
So that was like one big win for the rights of their employees. But I can just say, I know someone who works at Rockstar, he or she still afraid
to
talk.
Yeah.
You know?
Yep.
So, and it's not just about the working conditions. It's there, you know, if you reveal that they're working on a game, you're done. And you're like done in the industry. So I think it's just, I don't know. The rights that they're getting are not necessarily the ones that they want. And I think there's a larger discussion about unionization for game developers.
It's just like forward-facing, like good PR stuff that has nothing to do with the fact that, like, even though you can on paper talk to the press, doesn't mean you won't be repercussions if you do.
Yeah.
So
that's exactly it, and that's what I think is kind of a bummer of what we've seen so far. So this is good news, but it's not like the end of whatever.
It's progress, but there's still more work that needs to be done.
For sure.
2 more quick things. Apparently, Rocket League is going to get rid of, I guess, the loot boxes, and you can just buy stuff just straight up.
Finally.
And I think there's a loot box disclosure that's going to be a requirement for games for the major console manufacturers coming shortly.
You know what? This is a slippery slope because, okay, you can say that I have anyone who works in computer science or whatever, you can program an app to give you an 80% chance, or sorry, a 20% chance of something, and then do it 5 times and still not have it happen. You know,
right? Because the 80 isn't on a test subject of 5; it's on a test subject of 1 million polls.
Yeah,
exactly.
So, like it's that. Yeah, you still can fall into outside of the majority.
Yep.
Even
Quite easily.
I mean,
think that's going to be dangerous when it comes to loot boxes. Telling a kid you have a 33% chance of winning, and they're like, "Hey, mom, let me buy this 3 times."
It's only a 10% chance of that.
Yeah. So it's. I think it's. Let's just get rid of them. Like, this is stupid. This is a stupid
Asif,
gambling mechanic.
And money.
Yes, they're making truckloads of money off of it, but it's especially bad and targeted towards kids. It's especially bad in mobile apps.
Yes.
You know? And it's like slot machines. What's the difference? Like, why don't we just treat it like it is? It's basically a slot machine.
Yeah.
And like, from a gamer perspective, just a player's perspective, I just want to buy whatever I want, you know. Like, don't make me have to.
You should have that option. The part that this always falls apart on with like the ESA and whatnot. Oh, it's like baseball cards or whatnot. It's like, except for there's an aftermarket in baseball cards that allows me to go and purchase what I want. And yes, it potentially will be more expensive than if I had bought one loot box and gotten lucky and it was in there. But you don't have that ability in most of these games.
Yeah.
To do that, like there is no thing other than the microtransaction.
Yeah, I think CS:GO is the example that you're kind of talking about, where you can sell what you win, and Steam actually does a decent job of being able to sell and trade things that are from in-app purchases or from in-game loot boxes. But the whole idea of chance being a factor of something, you're already what bothers me, what really grinds my gears about this. So I'm already buying a freaking game for $60, right? And now you're throwing this $5 thing at me that I might get what I want. I already gave you $60. Now I'm giving you $5. Just give me the thing I want. Like, why does it have to be this? Like, it's inherently bad and gambling. And
it's not consumer friendly.
No,
like,
yes, it's profit driven. You're dead right, Aaron.
Stockholder friendly.
And that's why EA is going to be the last company to do anything about this, because they love selling MUT card packs and they love selling FIFA Ultimate Team packs.
Yep, and a lot of them.
And those are those perfectly founded in, it's just like trading cards. But like you said, I can't turn around and be like, I don't want any Baltimore Ravens on my team. I'm a Browns fan. I'm going to sell these. Can't do that.
Mike, calm down.
I know.
No, I don't care.
Oh, yeah. How is he supposed to care? He steals the team from Cleveland, wins 2 Super Bowls. Oh, yeah, you got something to complain about in Baltimore.
What were the first loot boxes in video games?
No idea.
Yeah, but you know what I mean? Like, to me, it's just, the EU is cracking down on it first because the US is very slow to move. But I think that Europe is kind of leading in these areas, and companies all sell to Europe. So they have to make things that work for European regulations. They might as well make it work for the US. True. I think that's what we're seeing. I also think Epic Games' acquisition of Rocket League and Psyonix may have led to this decision ahead of time, because Fortnite, as awful as that game might be, I don't know if you guys like it or not, it doesn't really have
too late now.
Boxes. It doesn't really have loot boxes. You can just go in there to the item shop and buy stuff.
Yeah. It's you grind for your currency, and then you can spend your currency how you want.
Yeah.
So and it works for them, and it's working for them magnificently.
You know what I mean? Because you can also pay to buy V-Bucks, and then you can buy stuff with V-Bucks. And I just think that's the way to go. Even a game as awful as NBA 2K, that series, at least I can just buy the virtual currency and make my player better. It's not like I buy the virtual currency and flip a coin to see if my player gets better. At least it's a 1-to-1.
And that's why when you talk about EA, and they definitely have a deserved reputation, but I look at Activision and Blizzard as being just the exact same loot. Like, if I had the option to go buy the currency in Overwatch, that would be fine. Like, I'd still engage with loot boxes as I earn them, but I'm not going to keep chasing some skin that I want And the only way to do it is either buy enough loot boxes to trade in the content to then get what I want, or get lucky in a loot box. Like it's I have no way of engaging in the system that lets me buy what I want.
Yeah, Mr. Sleepy has some research from the internet.
Yeah, Team Fortress 2 makes sense for the first non-MMO, but yeah, I should have thought Maple Story would be the first instance of gachapon tickets kind of deal, which makes a whole ton of sense once I think about it. Like, of course.
And like, I'm not saying all microtransactions are bad, right? I get it. Free-to-play games are here to stay, so there needs to be a new kind of monetization for them.
True.
It's that slot machine mechanic that I think needs to go, because so many kids are playing these games, and I can just speak from my experience with my nephews. They're addicted to Fortnite, and they want V-Bucks, right? But at least they're not like... At least they know what they want. Like, I want this backpack. Whereas, like, in some crappy mobile game from a few years ago, they wanted to buy gems so they could have a chance at getting something in game.
Right.
You know, I think that's the line where at least you have some sort of certainty. But the things that, you know, I get what you're saying, though. There's still that... I guess I was just in Las Vegas. That thrill of winning when you do get your purple... whatever
right.
your rare is in whatever crate you're talking about.
Right, when you pull that out. Like, yeah.
I think there's that dopamine release that people are becoming addicted to, too. So I think that it's damaging on two fronts. It's damaging financially to gamers, and it's also damaging to, like, psychology for how
physiology of how we respond.
Yeah, which I just think it's dangerous, and I think it's, like, addictive behavior. I think the companies are clearly addicted to it. And, like, players aren't really standing up to it either. You know, like, people keep buying Madden every year, no matter how terrible it is.
Yay. I didn't buy Madden. I just wanted to say, hey.
you come on. We panned it this year. If you go read our review, we did not.
20 does not sound that good.
We did not take kindly to it.
I haven't played a Madden in a long time.
See, I'm one of those. I have the Origin Access Premier. So I don't buy Madden, but it's part of my subscription service.
You get your 10 hours to play it? Is that how that works?
No, I get to play it.
And Premiere, he just gets to play it.
I just get to play it every year. So it's part of my subscription.
Okay.
So basically, I did the math. It's $100 a year for Origin Access Premier. I basically get to play Battlefield and Madden every year. You know?
Yeah, that pays for it.
So it's $20 less than having to buy those games. But yeah, so now I don't buy Madden, but I have the crappy experience of Madden 20 on PC, which is like actually worse than console somehow.
I am shocked that, actually I'm not shocked they went back to PC, but again, this goes back to like 2008, 2009, when I was in discussions about like, we're not going to release these sports games on PC because we're not going to make any money from them.
Yeah.
How different the market has changed.
Oh no, for sure.
So... like, they did not release an NHL 10 because they're like, oh, it's just going to get too pirated in Russia. Like, we're not going to... It's not worth it.
All right.
So.
Let's talk about some games you've been playing. Asif, what games you been playing?
Okay. Games that I've been playing. At EVO, I tried out the new Shovel Knight fighting game. It's called Shovel Knight Showdown. It's a standalone game where you... basically kick the crap out of each other. I think this was born out of them being snubbed from Smash. Remember how it was that whole everyone wanted Shovel Knight and Smash?
It just makes sense.
But he ended up being an assist trophy. So I think that was kind of a snub. And they decided to make this game then. So it's very much like Gauntlet and Joust and like it's kind of Power Stone influence because you have to get the gems. It's all about getting, you know, I think they're gems, right, on the screen. You have all the different characters. So you have like Plague Knight, you have Shield Knight, you have Shovel Knight, you have like
Spectre, yeah. So like all the different expansion characters would be there. All the different. It's fun, and they have different move sets. They have different abilities like up and A, and
it's really fun. We had a great time. It's 4-player, local couch co-op. But yeah, I had a good time playing that at Evo. So that's the most recent game I played. The game that I'm playing, the bicycle that powers my head. The game that I'm just playing when I can play games, like when I have that free time to just play a video game, it's Super Mario Maker 2. I love this game.
It's fantastic. It's
my game of the year right now. I reviewed it at Shacknews, and we were included in the accolades trailer. Like,
I saw that.
I like died. I literally like fell out of my chair, face first, just into the floor.
You were one of the first reviews to go up too.
Yeah, no, we were lucky enough to get it early. I had it for like 2 weeks. I played it all the time. I beat the single player. I uploaded a couple levels to the review server. But yeah, it's so good. It's everything I wanted in a sequel, minus worlds. I want the ability to build worlds. But I figured they'd save that for Super Mario Maker 3. Yeah, I've built 4 levels so far. I've tried to balance making, because so many times Mario Maker becomes about making the hardest level.
Yeah.
Tried to balance that. This time, I tried to be more fun with it. So my first level, it has a clear condition. You have to pick up 909 coins. That's a lot of coins.
In 30 seconds.
No, it's not a time limit or anything. It's like 500 seconds or something. So yeah,
This was the one that got pulled because of self-promotion?
Yes, that's correct.
I'm almost certain I played this. I saw your code at one point.
Yeah, Shacknews.com, briefcase level 1. And because I put Shacknews.com in the name of the title, it was deleted. And Nintendo doesn't allow you to appeal or anything, even though there's a freaking Wendy's level and an Arby's level. Whatever.
Well, I mean,
so I re-upload it. I say, okay, I'm getting rid of the Shacknews.com. I just call it briefcase level 1 coins. So it's re-uploaded now. What's fascinating about this, I built this level not to be a speedrun level. I built it just to be a fun level about collecting coins, some challenging platforming, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
It becomes a speedrunning level.
Of course.
All my friends are like, I'm going to beat it. I'm going to do it faster.
Because you want your name up on that world record. Like, I did that too for a while.
That was like, for the first week of the game, my friends were all just tweeting at me like, here's my time. They're like in Discord chatting about like the new meta. They figured out like some shortcuts that can like shave off 0.1 seconds or something. So I was just fascinated by that. So I make my second level super hard, like almost viciously hard, because I made a space level, it was a nighttime level, I think, with low gravity. So it's the sky at night, and I guess that has low gravity. And I put a Koopa Clown car in a sub area with auto scroll going left to right as fast as possible, and it's basically a shmup. So I turned part of the level into a space shmup, and it has these really tight corners with on-off switches. So I did that one. I think that's somewhere around 1.6 clear rate right now, 1.6%. Level 1's at around 10%. So then with level 3, I made a level called Die Koopas. And in this one, you have to kill 187 Koopas.
187,
Yeah, 187. And you can, like, if you miss one, you're screwed. You know what I mean? Like, it's one of those pixel perfect levels that you have to do properly. There's a ton of hills in it. It's in the Super Mario World style, which is my favorite game style. And it's really fun. It's not... That also became a speedrunning level. And then I made my fourth level. It's just called Mini Bosses. And there's just a series of levels that you have to go through. And it's just a bunch of different bosses. And that became a speedrun one too. So it's just funny. Like 3 of the 4 that I've created are speedrun levels. And 1 is just insanely hard. and I'm on my 5th one right now. I'm actually going to do something kind of different for it. I'm going to, because my level 5 on WiiU, the original one, it had a 0.7% clear rate. It's the hardest level I've ever made.
That's the one I'm still trying to beat.
That's right, because if you beat it, I'll give you elite donation to Extra Life, right?
I'm still working on it. I got like right to the end and then messed up. So yeah.
Yeah, so whenever you do that, you will unlock that donation.
I will do that.
And it's only for Aaron. It's not to everyone in the world.
Oh, I was gonna say, like, wait, what? I need to go.
Wait, okay, Tiny, if you can beat it, and Mike, if you can beat it, you 3, whoever can beat it amongst you 3.
I was like, I'll go find my copy of Mario Maker 2 in a moment.
Oh, I just charged
Mario Maker
my
2
gamepad.
doesn't have this level yet.
Oh, I have to go back.
You have to pull out your Wii U. So
I'm still plugged in.
Mine is right on my desk.
I was gonna say it's right next to me. I don't know.
My gamepad was on my desk, but I had to charge it. So
I'm gonna do this live stream where I rebuild the level.
Oh, that's cool.
And I'm gonna have it's gonna be the Wii U on one side and the Switch on the other, and I'm just gonna go through it and do it because it's gonna take some time to rebuild it. That level took me a while to build.
I bet.
It took me a while to beat because it's really hard. And it was funny. I was showing it to one of my friends a couple weeks ago. He came over, and I suck at it now, Aaron. So you're probably better at that level than I am. You know what I mean? It's like one of those things. Like I beat it once, and it was the time I uploaded it
for the upload.
Yeah. And I'm like, oh god, I have to beat this level again. I have to make this level again. So I have a little bit of Mario Maker block right now because I'm like stuck on level 5. I thought about skipping ahead and starting to make 6. But I'm like, no, I want to get this done. I want to make this stream like kind of cool, and then we'll go from there. But yeah, it's Mario Maker 2 is really when I can play a game, that's the game I'm playing. I 100%ed the story mode twice now because the review copy of the game did not transfer the save over to the final version of the game.
Ooh.
So that sucked. And I also lost 2 of the levels that I uploaded to the review server from that, which is kind of.
I never get Nintendo games for review, so I guess I've never encountered that before.
That's the first time I've encountered that, honestly, because Nintendo, they're super secretive with stuff. But yeah, it was. I was like, man, I spent a lot of time on those levels. It's all good.
Is Mario in Mario Maker 2? We're not telling you. All right, that's weird.
Oh, you should have seen the embargo sheet. It was 4 pages, dude. I felt like I was taking the SATs. I was like, okay, if
you do this, we'll do this.
Yeah, if this, then this. I'm like, well, that means I can't upload this, but I can do this after this time on this day.
I should just do nothing, Britton. That's what they're trying to tell you. Just don't do anything. Sure.
And that's why, like, you'll look at our preview coverage. I didn't write a preview when everyone else did. I didn't upload preview gameplay when everyone else did. Instead, I went after guides, like how to upload the level, how to do this.
Oh, okay.
All that stuff went live on the review embargo date instead of the preview date. So, like, you saw a lot of people with gameplay of the game, but I was there, like, at launch, ready with, like, some useful content. And that was kind of my strategy. Because, like, Joe Q Influencer, he's going to post his video and he's going to kill my gameplay video because he has more subs, But if I post how to upload in Super Mario Maker 2 before everyone, that's going to help us in the long run from an SEO standpoint. So,
the how to buy the Action Figure Man episode. That's yeah.
Exactly. So yeah, I'm still playing that. Maybe I'll be streaming that tomorrow. And then I added one more game because I played it during the tournament or while we were setting it up. I played Descent, and that game's still good.
Oh, that game's great.
And it's something that I want to put into other tournaments. I would even do like a micro tournament of just Descent.
What about Forsaken 64? Would you just put that in there?
Well, I mean, why play it on the 64 when I played it on PC? Forsaken also came out on the PC at the same time.
Why ask why?
So. You really just want to use that excellent input that was the 64 controller.
Hey, it worked for some things.
The C buttons were actually kind of good in Forsaken. I'll give you that.
Okay, so at the last event, New Jersey GamerCon we were at, I had a 64 setup because I have the retro tank for line doubling, so like it looks decent on an HD television.
Mm-hmm.
So I had Mario Kart 64 set up, and a father with his 3 kids come over and they want to play it. I'm like, that's fine, you can play. And I'm watching them play, and he's obviously played this. None of his kids have ever touched an N64 controller, from what I can tell. So like, his 2 daughters are holding on the outside, but still trying to hit the joystick, or the analog stick, but holding from the prongs on the outside of the N60. And I'm like, look at your father. It'll be so much more comfortable if you hold the controller like he's holding it. Because they're like, I can't turn right.
There's
like,
a reason.
I'm like, okay, the N64 is a controller of, you had to be there.
Yeah, you did.
So,
Yeah.
You had to be there.
Yeah.
So
yeah, like trying to explain that to someone in 2019.
they looked at me like I had 3 heads. Like, what are you talking about? Like,
there's another way to hold these.
Like, why? Of course you hold it on the outside. That's how you hold a controller. Like, no, you don't care about the D-pad. The D-pad's useless unless it's a fighting game.
Well, the wrestling game.
Or a wrestling game. Which seems like it'd be a subset of fighting. But anyway.
Fair enough. I'll shut up.
So, anyway. But, okay, so, yeah. So, Mike, what did you play, sir? Did we lose Mike?
Maybe.
He said he came back. Anyway.
I don't see anything on his list of games.
Nah, I mean,
he normally doesn't fill that out.
Yeah.
Okay.
That part I'm not shocked about, but that's fine.
But
those were my 3 games, though. Yeah.
Okay, good stuff.
I also only have 3.
I played some high stakes Quake at the end of the tournament, but that was about it.
Hey, do winning QuakeCon.
Yeah, I mean, the guy who won the Quakeholio tournament was insane. Like, so good. Like, the mouse, like, just watching his hands move, I'm like, I'm going to get murdered. But yeah,
I'm going to die.
Yeah, I was really nervous all week because I'm like, oh god, I'm gonna lose and I'm gonna have to give this guy more money. Like, why do I do these things to myself? But yeah, it was it's fun. I'm looking forward to more tournaments.
Good stuff. Well then, and we'll see if Mike wakes up. But in the meantime, Aaron, what have you been playing?
I played some Resident Evil 6 with a friend of the show, a friend in real life, Justin, the other night. He hit me up. It's like, we've been talking about playing some RE5 or 6 on Steam or whatever. We both had it on. So we played the first, like, I guess the first chapter or whatever. That's a long chapter. And we played the Leon mission. So Leon and Helena.
Okay.
Yeah, that game is that's an interesting game. I finished it when it came out, everything but the Ada stuff. So we had a good time. It's some parts of the game just don't make any sense. Like how there's like so many of the zombies will run and lunge at you, but they're like lunge like through doors and walls, and it's like this doesn't make any sense. But yeah. So yeah, we're gonna keep plugging away at that and hopefully finish it at some point. Played some Power Roomy on the Switch, which is a sort of rock paper scissors vertical shooter. Excuse me. It's fun. The thing is, like, at the bottom of the screen, you have 3 things. There's like shield, like boost, and like crush. Crush means like this particular weapon will do the most damage, and it's based on the different colors of enemies on screen. So the words will always be the same. Like you have like shield on the left, boost in the middle, zero at the bottom, and then like boost on the right, whatever it was. So, but the colors will change that they're trying to tell you. So that's the rock paper scissors element. It was like if you have a bunch of red enemies on screen, use the green, and so on and so forth. So you kind of have to glance down there to kind of get an idea until you start to remember what to do. So I try to game it and just do like shield, basically shooting a weapon that will always keep my shield gaining a little bit. So I beat the first level pretty much doing that. Went into the second level and tried to do the same thing. Got to the boss. Almost beat it, died. But then it's not really fun because you're just holding down one button So, I mean, what the developers intended is the most fun thing. I mean, playing the way it's supposed to be played, where you switch the different colors and everything else to make sure it makes sense. So that's what I did. Played some Gravity Ghost on PS4. That's like a 2D platformer where like you're jumping on little planetoids, and you kind of can control like how you orbit around them to get like either flowers or these stars to open up the doors. But then it's there's these beautifully animated cutscenes. They're like giving you little pieces of all these characters and like what their issues are. I dig it. It's pretty fun. It's not exactly what I would have thought the game would be, but like I didn't really expect there to be like little pieces of character development with like really good voice acting, but it's there, so I'm cool with that. Played Exception on the Xbox One, which is at first glance, remember that game Bangai-O Spirits or Bangai-O? Yeah, where a little character and then like all these missiles are coming at you, and then you just I never understood Bangai-O at all. It just never clicked with me. But how it kind of works is you're a small character and you're platforming, running around. You're like a sword, you slash, and you touch these little emblems and they flip the level. It's like it'll flip it horizontally or vertically. You're just making your way through just to find like a little like golden box thing or whatever, and then the level ends. It's a lot of fun. It's challenging, very colorful, kind of fast. You know, there's a speed running element to it. I think it comes out maybe next week or a week after. It's worth checking out though. It's called Exception. I'm not sure why it's called that, but I'm digging it. I think it's a lot of fun. What else did I play? Turok 2 on the Switch. Turok 2 Seeds of Evil.
Why?
Yo, the first Turok, the Night Dive Studios
They did
upscale and whatnot. Like it's pretty decent.
I mean, I bought the bundle on Xbox One, but they sent me Turok 2 on Switch. It controls a lot better. And I'd rather play Turok 2 than 1. That's just me.
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah. And, plus, not that the multiplayer is there, or if it is, I'm forgetting, but the cerebral bore was awesome.
That's the only reason to play the game. Okay.
Kind of, sort of. It basically takes your enemy's head and puts its brain liquefied on the outside. And that's...
Yep. It's great. Okay, fine.
You ask?
I just needed to know the motivation to play Turok.
I'm glad I did not disappoint you, Asif.
No, cerebral bore is a good answer. If we're playing Family Feud, I'm like, good answer.
Ding. Let's see.
Number one says.
Anybody ever play Lovely Planet 2, Lovely Planet Arcade? There's a game sort of like it's called Bouncy Bullets. It's very similar, like these little cube, like rectangle enemies shoot at you sometimes. You basically have a level you want to get from point A to point B. It's a little more, Lovely Planet was platformy, but this one it controls different, but it's like the same kind of thing. But it's kind of fun. So it's called Bouncy Bullets. I'm playing that on Switch. What else? Woodle Tree 2 came out on the Switch. I did complete Woodle Tree 1.
The hotly anticipated sequel here, then.
Yeah, man. It's actually Woodle Tree 2 Deluxe, I believe. So it's a lot like the first one, but it's much more open. So it's a kid-friendly 3D platformer where you don't really... you can die, but there's really no penalty. It's just fun to just, jump around and collect stuff. And I like platformers, like 3D platformers, so it works for me. So, yeah, I'm liking that one. Hamsterdam, that's a game where you're a hamster who's fighting all these, like, large rabbits and rats, and it's like a lot of quick-time events. And you're just beating up these animals that are much bigger than you. And it's kind of dope. It's just like a hamster in a jacket just taking it to a jackal. Who knew, right? Who knew that's what we needed in life?
Is that what you need?
Not really. I just wanted to say that.
Okay.
Aritana and the Twin Masks. That is a sequel to Aritana and the Something Feather. That comes out in a couple of weeks. Unlike the first game, which was I know it was on Xbox One. I think it was on Steam. A 2D platformer. This one is 3D. So
okay.
it seems, I don't know. It's I can tell. Like, I mean, obviously the development team, that they poured a lot more time and money. This one, it looks pretty good. Controls pretty well. So, like 3D platformer. It's an action platformer. So I feel like that'll be good to sink my teeth into. A game called Fobia, which clearly
you put a video.
Yeah, I probably should have been a little more descriptive. I said it was interesting. It's not very good. It's kind of buggy, and it's like a inside. What was the first game that studio made?
Oh, the Shadow one.
Yeah, Limbo.
Limbo, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you're a character like in a raincoat, and it's not a terrible game. It does some interesting things. It's just it's broken. So like there'll be sequences where like a boulder rolls down. You like run away till it falls into something, and then you can go back. But like you get into this loop where you never have, like, it catches up with you every single time, or you'll jump on like the edge of a cliff, but you'll get stuck on it and then fall. Or like when the game reloads, it like it's like a whole bunch of the map that's underneath, but the game shows you and like vibrates violently until it pulls down what you're supposed to see on screen. It's buggy. It's not the worst game, but it's just not. I don't know.
Gotcha.
And then I was watching somebody's YouTube video today, and I realized that. I've talked about how much I love Picross 3D, because to me the only Picross is 3D. I don't want to hear 2D Picross sucks. Who cares? 3D Picross is fantastic, and the sequel on 3DS is fantastic. But I forgot that they put the first Picross 3D on the WiiU.
Yeah.
So now I'm like, yes, I own a WiiU, but now I'm like, can I emulate it? So I'm just like wondering, like,
This is like a dolphin experiment.
Well, yeah. Well, I do use Dolphin, but I have to use CEMU, CEMU, whatever.
CEMU.
I'd have to use that, which I've used before. I actually played the original Mario Maker on that. So
yeah, those guys were insane. The Mario Maker community who ported it over to CEMU and then had these like independent servers for levels and stuff. It got really weird really quick. I was like, I wonder what the Mario Maker community's doing. I was like, oh my god, why? Like, we don't need, like, Nintendo, hurry up and release Mario Maker 2. This was like 3 months before they announced it, and I was like kind of getting the itch for Mario Maker again.
Yeah, I didn't review it, but I played, what was the game called? It was trash. Plata-Go or something on Switch. It's on Steam too. It's when you make your own levels, but it is not. Oh, it's not good. Like,
Level Head.
Ugh.
Did you ever play Level Head?
Never played that one. Level Head.
Level Head was, I think, the one that they were like trying to make Mario Maker before Super Mario Maker 2 came out, and then.
Oh yeah, well, I'll try that one. You try. Well, I won't say try. Just watch a video of Plata-Go.
Plata-Go?
Nah.
If I'm gonna do another level thing, I'm gonna jump into Dreams on PS4.
That was impressive at PAX, I have to say.
That stuff's crazy. I'll definitely watch your video of Plata-Go though, because it'll make me not have to play it. So
exactly.
That'll save me time and money. You're doing a service to the community, sir.
I'll be here all week.
I keep hearing about Dreams, and like there seems like there's a solid community back behind it. It's just
what they're doing is smart. I mean, they're having people make a bunch of content, and then the game comes out.
Right.
Yeah. It's cool. Dreams is cool. It's like they built an engine that's a game. Like, it's weird. But hopefully, I think the biggest challenge is that a game like Mario Maker or Media Molecule's Little Big Planet, it's easier to get your head around. The tools are easier to understand. The tools in Dreams are not as intuitive because it's 3D.
Right.
And I just think that creates a challenge for them. And not that they didn't do a good job of making the tool or the tool set. It's just a challenge I think any 3D game's going to face.
Yeah.
I think that's why it's still in early access too. I thought that game was going to launch this year, but
I thought it was a fall release still. Maybe it's not. I don't
know.
I haven't kept up either. So
Sony's like, did they give up on State of Play? Is that over already?
no, isn't there supposed to be one in December?
Remember.
December?
I think I thought there was supposed to be a year-end show that they were talking about.
December? They're not gonna even mention Death Stranding again? That's insane.
I don't
Man,
know.
I don't know. Death Stranding. We'll see how it is. I don't have high hopes for that game. So
you doubt the ladder technology?
I am so confused by the ladder technology because is it just a perspective thing? So like if I can, because it feels like when he pulls out that ladder in that one, like he's pulling out a 30-foot ladder that somehow goes 300 feet.
That's how ladders work, Tiny.
That's not how ladders work. I'm very confident in that. Anyway, so like we'll
how
see.
It works in the world of Death Stranding.
Well, yeah, it fucking whatever, Harv Diamond and all that stuff.
So you're not a believer in the Lord and Savior Kojima.
I loved Metal Gear Solid 2. It's my favorite Metal Gear Solid game.
What about 5?
I didn't finish 5.
But it's pretty good.
I thought it was a fun playing game, but
yeah, I didn't want to actually finish it.
Honestly, the part I love about 2 is the story. And actually, so I also really like 4, but I like 4 for the spectacle of how much it goes back to 1.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
When you're like, yo, you are driving around Metal Gear Rex. Like, that's awesome. Like, great. Give me that all day. So, like, I also, me and my buddy in college played through Twin Snakes when it came out that weekend. Like, yo, more anime Metal Gear Solid? Great. But, I don't know. We'll see. Maybe Death Stranding will be his next coming in it, but I'm so just like, give something, please share. Like
okay, so you have Nintendo that's like they're doing their thing. They just did a Smash video on YouTube. You have Xbox that's like, they're gearing up for Gears 5 and like all these different things launching later this year. Like, I get Sony didn't show up to E3. I get it.
Right.
They couldn't even poop out a video at E3. Right? Okay, fine. But it's August.
And
we haven't heard anything from them.
It's fair. Like, yeah, like
are they even trying? Like, is PR
they hit 100 million. 100 million sold. They don't have to.
Victory lap now. They're in like.
But this is the Sony that stumbles. This is how Sony stumbles.
This is PS2 Sony to PS3. Yes. This is exactly.
That's what I'm getting at.
We are exactly there again.
Like, watch these guys trip on their shoelaces, fall face first into PS5.
$700. You'll get a second job. Like,
yeah, $700 for PS5.
So I mean, yeah, we'll see. I thought it was either December, maybe it was in November, but I thought there was a game or a state of play scheduled for fourth quarter calendar.
If they're trying to mimic Nintendo with what they do with Directs, they're getting it wrong. That's all I'm saying.
They had theirs was just like there was no person, no nothing to. I mean, Microsoft's is too long and it's 18 people too many.
Yeah, but, sure. Yeah. Inside Xbox, that stuff is not
4 hours. I don't. Yeah.
Who has time for that?
I love loading screens. What? Shut up.
Nintendo.
People don't talk like that.
Nintendo dropping like that Smash look at Hero with Sakurai playing it.
Oh yeah,
that was my jam. I want more of that. The Pokemon Directs have been pretty great. I think I love when they do a focus direct that's just on one game and they go super in depth. They just seem to get it. They've been doing it the longest. They seem to understand it, and they're not dumb enough to stop communicating with their fans. I think it's insulting as someone who attended E3 that Sony didn't even think they needed to post a video or anything. Like, address those 100 million people. It just seems like this would be the time to try to push a game like Death Stranding to those 100 million people.
That makes me think that they had some kind of, I mean, because they're still part of the ESA. Yes, they didn't attend E3, but like they're still part of the ESA. They're still, and if there was a request like, hey, if you're not going to be part of this, please keep your programming clear. Like don't conflict here.
Yeah, but not don't conflict here. Don't go to Comic-Con. Don't go to Gamescom.
Like,
Don't.
oh yeah, no, like they're again. It feels like they are doing the PS2 all over again.
Yeah.
Yep.
And we'll see.
Yep.
So, but
we all know how Xbox 360 did, versus that. So,
I mean, there are a lot of factors there coming out a year early. Like, there's a lot. Like,
Sure.
if they come out year and year, day and date, like within a week
different.
of each other, that's a whole different discussion. But like, it doesn't sound like they're gonna have the power game. It sounds from what we limited know, but what's been discussed in like patents and whatnot, Microsoft is most likely going to have the more powerful system out of Scarlet versus PS5.
Well, it's also just so silly that we're even talking about power in consoles because they're so much weaker than a PC.
Well, right, but they are closed box systems. They're the max
portable.
They're the max. Well, yeah, except for the affordability discussion. They're the max of gaming. Like, hey, you get this. Don't ever open it. In fact, you're not encouraged to open it, and it'll just work. So like, great, and there's a portion of the audience that wants that. Like, I'm fine to not always have to be like arm deep into a computer trying to like tweak it so that like, oh man, it'll run just a little bit better. Like, or I mean, it's the same on consoles now, but like, every time I turn on this computer, Razer and Nvidia want to tell me about the updates they have for me. Yeah, I mean, we'll see. And again, we talked about the tariff stuff at the top of the show. Like,
yeah,
if that doesn't get resolved, we're in much more expensive territory just by the politics of it. But
I just want them to say anything about anything.
Oh, it'd be nice. Yeah, like if they but I mean, they've also like, I feel like they've had more shakeups in their, because like John Drake left.
Yeah,
and
sure.
like they've had more shakeups in at least their American facing staff. That like,
but like they don't do anything. It's Japan. They don't do anything. They're not decision makers.
They don't make the decision, but they do present the decision to their region.
No, I know, and it's just, to me, it's just fascinating that they're not. If they're not at TGS, I don't know.
That's an interesting one.
If they don't show up to Tokyo Game Show, I might just wash my hands of Sony.
If they're not at Space World 2019, what are we doing here?
What happened to Space World? I went to a Space World, Aaron.
Really?
Yeah, I went to Space World 2001.
Nintendo decided they didn't need to have conventions.
Yeah, that was their head.
Also, they had a GameCube. They had the GameCube with up. Anyway, I love the GameCube.
Hey, now,
I love the GameCube. But like, let's not pretend it wasn't third in a three-horse race there.
Whatever.
Let's not pretend that D-pad is not useless.
So anyway, I'm gonna run through games real quick.
Yeah, sure.
We're gonna talk about the new hotness, a Game Boy Advance game.
Scoop Moose thanks you, by the way.
I was streaming it this week, so I was talking with one of my guildmates from Philadelphia. And he's like, did you know the first 3 Harry Potter games on handheld are RPGs? And not just RPGs, like Final Fantasy clones. I did not know this. I would have thought they were like side scrollers or some third person bullshit. No, like they are legitimate. The first 2 on Game Boy Color are like, right side is Harry Potter and his crew, left side is whoever's attacking him. And like turn-based strategy or turn-based combat. You have different levels, you're earning experience, you're leveling up. And then the Game Boy Advance game is a Golden Sun ripoff or clone. With really nice pixel art in it. You're worried about equipment, like the different stuff you can equip on Hermione, Harry, or Ron. In a world where there are spells, where you literally cast magic. Hermione is your buff character. Like, she's gonna like, oh hey, you can earn extra experience or armor, or hey, you hit harder. And she does this by lecturing you. Her thing is like, she gives you a pep talk. And Ron like has traps that he can get from his brothers. What was it? Ron or Fred and George in the movie or in the books open a prank store. So like, there's all this stuff, and like, it's like a 7-hour, 8-hour RPG in the Harry Potter universe. So I don't know. I played the first 3 hours on stream Saturday, and like it was like legitimately a fun time. Like
That sounds cool.
I wish I went and checked out some of the later games. They are the isometric platformers that you would imagine they would be. But like I didn't know that these first 3 games were these RP, and it looks like the first 2 Game Boy Color games are actually more based on the books than on the movies, because they had to come out like day and date with the movies. So yeah, like it's I thought they would have been garbage. Welcome to a hidden gem on the Game Boy Advance. So and then hooking that up via the GameCube and the Game Boy player, Game Boy interface.
Yeah.
Out via component cable, because I'm one of those dumb people that owns GameCube component cables.
Hey, I have mine.
So like you can get a really nice picture. You should, if you get a chance, check it out. Aaron mentioned Scoop, one of our listeners. He was at a store. I think he picked it up for like $5.
So, Tiny, you have the Game Boy player for GameCube.
I do.
Does that require a disc?
It does.
See, here's the problem. I bought a GameCube recently at a secondhand shop. It came with it. I don't have the disc.
So the disc is very expensive now.
Yeah.
But
do you know where to find it?
There is an easier way to handle it.
Oh, really?
So, yes. So kind of like and I know Asif, you follow Jeremy Parrish's stuff.
Yeah, sure.
Like how they did a second Game Boy player on the Super Nintendo because the first one didn't run exactly at the right clock speed.
Yeah.
So on the Game Boy player for GameCube, there's actually, if you go buy a
Action replay,
yeah, the one that has the media slot so you can use an SD card, there's a mod scene called Game Boy Interface, which actually allows you to do run the games at the correct speed and also with more features, because the Game Boy player is kind of light. Game Boy Advance player on GameCube. So, and you can bypass having to have that disc, because that disc now runs like $100 on its own.
Damn.
Because it's on the mini DVD format they used, and like people just threw them away because they didn't realize they were required.
Yeah.
But yeah, and the cool thing is, like, don't look for the GameCube action replay. Look for the Wii one, because it's the exact same thing. It runs through a Game Boy memory card slot.
Okay.
I didn't realize
and
that.
yeah, and so you can do that. Get that for like $30 off of Amazon. Load up the software on like I'm sure you have SD cards lying around. Like I have like garbage 2 or 4 gig ones lying around.
Sure.
Load that up, put that in, and like you have, oh hey, do you want a line double, or do you want this to be pixel perfect or stretch, or like you have a bunch of different display options. And then you don't need to worry about that disc. Now if you ever want to resell it, yes, someone will probably want that disc, but who cares?
Interesting.
So Game Boy interface for Game Boy Player Advance. And then we were lucky enough at a convention a couple years ago, I picked up the Hori Game Boy Advance digital gamepad.
I don't have one.
Okay, I picked up one. They didn't know what they had. I was like, oh, how much for that? She's like, $10. I'm like, sweet.
I wish.
This thing goes for like $300 now.
$10?
$10. It was one of my greatest 2-minute games picks ever.
That's definitely that's like Hall of Fame of deals.
So it was Mike was there. I'm disappointed Mike's not here to back up the whole thing, but yeah. Oh, there you are.
Hey.
So I've been playing that, and like I would like to go back to the Game Boy Color version, so it's Chamber of Secrets and the Philosopher's Stone, but like it is tough to go back to a Game Boy Color game. Like that is a much simpler art palette. So, but the GBA one is real nice. Like I said, it kind of looks like the fighting system looks Pokemon-esque or Golden Sun. So like Harry, Ron, and Hermione have their backs to you, but you see the enemies, and you have to pick like, identify or attack or use a potion to like cure paralysis or all this stuff. So like it's surprising, like someone cared about the property when they made this game. Which is real cool. Like I didn't know about it until one of my guildmates told me about it, and then when I started playing, I had people come out of the woodworks on Twitch like, "Oh, I loved playing this when I was a kid." Like, cool. Like this is great. So other than that, I started Wolfenstein Youngblood with a friend of the show, Jeff, and I don't know, that game in co-op is a lot of fun. But like if I hadn't known Arcane Studios was worked on it, once we got into the open world, I'd been like, this feels a lot like Dishonored. And it does.
Yeah.
Like the structure is a whole lot of like, oh, you can go 3 different ways in this one spot, and those things are going to kill you, so you want to avoid them. So you just don't get to warp around. So
So that's a little different than the other machine games.
Oh, definitely. Well, and that's where the Arcane Studio influence, I think, is. Because, like, in machine games, it was like, oh, you could get that power up to either stretch, run through walls, or I forget what the third one was. Yeah. And, like, that was towards the end of the game. And it was such, like, a minor thing.
Yeah.
So, like, this is a lot more like, oh, no, like, there's some value to stealth, but, like, no matter what, once you start an engagement, stealth is only going to last so long. You're not going to get through a whole engagement in a stealth mode.
Have you played it single player much?
I have not.
Okay.
So,
because what I've heard from our reviewer who really didn't like the game, Sam Chandler, he said that the AI for your co-op companion can be like rage-inducing. So I could see how playing it 2-player, with a friend is just the way to do it. I thought it was pretty fun. I played it at E3 Judges Week with in a co-op environment. I thought it was pretty fun. That whole like high five mechanic, that like you can like power up your team by like high fiving each other, like finger gunning.
Like, hey, armor.
Yeah.
And that's the interesting. So our friend Jeff, who was playing with me, he was like level 40. But what's weird is the game seems to scale individually. So like I wasn't getting killed because like all of the levels, or because it always matches. You're never overpowering. But like he was also getting knocked down. So like he was getting hit still. It seemed like it was player dependent, so that we could play together without having, like, City of Heroes used to have a thing where, oh, you could sidekick people, bring someone lower level into the game. They essentially come up to one level below you, and then you can co-op through. In this, it seems like essentially each bullet was, hey, if it hit me, it was at my level. If it hit Jeff, it was around his level.
That's interesting.
Yeah, it was an interesting approach. So, and then just because I was on my Xbox last night and I was playing around, I went back to Star Wars Battlefront 2, and like I don't care about like the microtransaction stuff because I'm not going to go, like, all that stuff is now free in the game. That game's still like kind of amazing looking. I also did the same thing with Gears 4. Like, it's kind of amazing how those games look on the Xbox One X.
Battlefront 2 is gorgeous, and it's a DICE game, and DICE makes good shooters.
Oh, yeah.
It's just that there was a bad mechanic thrown into it that hurt it. Otherwise, it would have been a much better received game.
Definitely.
I agree with you. I think the core mechanics of the game are good, and I think it's just gorgeous. It's those assets, man. Those Industrial Light and Magic assets just look so shiny.
And the fact that they've brought in like all this content from like the stuff from like Clone Wars and whatnot, and like they have voice actors from the TV shows and whatnot. Like, it's great. Like, and it's all free as far as I can tell. Like, I didn't buy anything extra. I have the base game, and I was playing with all this.
They backtracked on a lot of stuff.
So yeah. So, but and then I played a little Gears 4 because I just wanted to start playing through it again.
Were you playing the story?
Gears 4, yes.
Why?
Because I want to prep for
that's fun.
Gears 5.
I like the campaigns.
It's terrible. That's the worst Gears story outside of Judgment.
I was gonna say outside of Judgment because like I tried Judgment and Judgment was pretty bad.
I will say you fight the robots for too long, but it was still worth playing.
Kate and her uncle.
Well,
all that stuff.
It feels like that's gonna be a huge part of the next game.
It's like a big Kate. Gears 5 is gonna be like the Kate story. I know, right. But like I don't care. I just want to kill Locust. And the other part that really I didn't like about Gears 4, I didn't like shooting robots the whole time. It's less satisfying.
It wasn't the whole time, but it was a long time.
How many robots? It was a lot of robots that we had.
It was a lot, but I'll give it credit for this. And again, I only played it for a short time, but I played the opening again. And the opening is going through before Emergence Day, so like when they were fighting the other humans, and then you fight essentially you're just fighting from a different perspective. The opening to Gears 1.
Yes.
And like you meet Kim, like you meet the Sergeant Kim who dies in Gears 1 and whatnot. And I'm like, oh, that's like I've forgotten that since 2 years when it came out. And this is the first time I booted up on the X. And I played the PC, and the PC has tons of options. Like you can tweak that game to all.
It's gorgeous.
It's amazing. But on my Xbox, I'm running it. It's only I have it on a 1080p 60-inch television, and it's downsampling from 4K asset. Like it still looks pretty damn good. Like
that game, that series is a love letter to the Unreal Engine.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No. It's 100% like, yo, we know what to do with at least the first. But then I was also trying to think like they never really resolved the whole like, was Marcus's mom the queen?
Yeah.
Yeah. There was some weirdness.
Like,
yeah.
Can you at least explain who the queen of the Locusts was? And like, I don't know, why was his dad hanging out with her?
Right, yeah, why was...
And the dad just, like, died. Like, they didn't explain anything. Yeah,
that's what I mean. Like, that's where I was like, nah. And then 4, it just seemed like, oh, we bought this franchise. We gotta keep making them, so...
I like 4. Although, like, the whole government coming after you robot part, they just pivot from that and do something completely different for the rest of the game and never get back to that.
Yeah, so I think that... I found that kind of lazy. And also, I'm a huge horde mode player, so like, I hate the robots.
Oh, okay.
You have to deal with them so much in horde, and it's just not as satisfying. There's something more satisfying about killing locusts than there is about killing robots. Probably because the locusts killed Dom, and I still have bloodlust over that. And I also
that's one scene that I remember when you see Dom's wife come out of that. Like,
that scene had me, man. That scene hit me,
and like that's one. Like I'm like, man, I really enjoy the Gears. Not enough to like go read a book because that seems like the dumbest thing. But like I really enjoyed these.
I'm not gonna lie, I was misty-eyed playing through that scene. I was like,
yeah, I think the collector's edition I have has like her dog tags or whatever. With it. I was like,
it did.
Oh.
But I'm excited for Gears 5. Don't get me wrong. But like I actually reviewed Gears 4 very favorably. But after more time with it and having played through the single player several times now, I just don't. I think the single player is bad. It's very short compared to the other ones.
It didn't seem short, but I only played through it once, so I don't remember.
I think it's only like 5 to 8 hours. It's not very long.
That's plenty. Like
we're in different times in our life now than we were when the first like like remember in 3 where I feel like you chainsawed through those giant worms
like
4 or 5 times and you're like, God, why are we still doing that?
Because it was a huge worm. It made sense.
Why are we
that?
That's 7 hearts time.
About my favorite thing in the entire game. I'm like, yes, I love when I go inside the giant worm and I have to chainsaw everything. Give me another one of those. I would be in heaven. Just B button to win. Oh man, I love that. There was a scene in Gears 4 that's like that with the I can't remember what they call imps or whatever. Where you're like in the dark and there's like a bridge and you just have to chainsaw your way through it.
Actually, so you know what? I will on that point, in the dark. The other thing that I remembered that like they never seemed to touch on Gears after Gears 1 were those flying things that like you had to shoot the lights on.
Oh, they were all around Krill or whatever they were called.
Yeah, I feel like we never really touched on them ever again. Like they were a huge deal in the first one, including in the final boss battle.
Yeah,
and then like
General Ram.
Maybe it was like something General Ram would call.
So
I just there you go.
But anyway, so that's all I really been like. I've been playing some more Fire Emblem Three Houses, but it hasn't grabbed me. Like I'm probably 6 hours in.
Everyone else is going goo goo gaga over that game.
Well, part of the reason that I started playing this Harry Potter GBA game because everyone's like, "Oh, this is the best non-Harry Potter game." I'm like, you know what? I was told about this really good Harry Potter game. I think I'm going to play that instead. So
nice.
So, but yeah. Anyway, yeah, that's what I've been playing. Mike, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. But
did you have anything you want to share?
No, I've not been playing anything new.
Okay.
All right. Let's get out of here. Asif, any shout outs, plugs, all that good stuff?
Yeah, go to my website, shacknews.com.
Go to his website.
It's we got news, reviews, previews, interviews, long reads. I think David Craddock wrote 200 some thousand words about the Pillars of Eternity and Infinity Engine games last year. Wrote like 160,000 words about the Quake franchise and Rocket Jump. He's working on an EverQuest long read right now. That's going to be pretty epic. It'll launch probably later this year.
Gotcha.
So yeah, check out those things. We got.
What's your before you go on? What's your subscription service?
Oh, Shacknews Mercury. For only $1 a month, you can support Shacknews. We started our own subscription service instead of going to Patreon or whatever. With $1 a month, that gets you an ad-free experience, so you won't see my dog on the website when you can log in. You also get access to those long reads in downloadable format, so like EPUB, so you can put them on your e-readers. You also get a fancy little lightning bolt logo next to your name in our forum. There's different tiers of Shacknews Mercury, so you can go with Mercury Mega, which starts at $1 a month, $10 a year. Super Mega is $50 a year. You get all those things you get with Mercury Mega, plus an exclusive T-shirt, which is kind of awesome. And then Mercury Ultra Mega is $100 a month, or sorry, a year. And you get all those things that Mercury Super Mega gets, plus a Shacknews hoodie, which was the Nintendo Switch of 2018, by the way. I don't know if none of you guys have a Shacknews hoodie. That seems wrong.
It does seem kind of wrong.
I'll have to fix that. And then, because I just wanted to see if anyone would subscribe to it, I created something called the Mercury Ludicrous tier. And it's all those things, plus 2 VIP tickets to a Shacknews special event. So that could be E3, that could be Comic-Con or something. And that's $1,000 a year. So yeah, we launched this in June. And I'm really, really excited about it. Basically, I didn't run ads on the site last year. So we kind of reset the revenue story from the website. But in 2017, we were running ads. I can tell you folks that we have made 4 times the amount of money off of Shacknews Mercury since we launched than we did in all of 2017 off of ads.
Wow.
Good. I mean, it's a good way to have your community be able to support.
Yeah, and
the content they're looking for.
And it speaks to just how many people are blocking ads. And I don't blame people for blocking ads. The ad experience on the internet is terrible these days. But for us to create content, we need to figure out a way to make money. Otherwise, the site will die. So my dog, who you've been hearing pant this whole episode, is the face of our service. Her name's Lola. If you click on her on our website, you can support us. And yeah, we just, we kind of hinted on it or talked about it earlier. I did just launch another podcast. It's called 9 to 5 Elon. And we talk about Tesla and Elon Musk being an idiot, basically. But yeah, we're going to be covering Tesla more at Shack. And some of my friends kind of come together since we were already talking about Tesla to do this. But yeah, that's about everything. And thanks for the Mercury shout out. And then yeah, we're starting to plan our Extra Life Game Day stuff. So
good stuff.
If you guys want to join our team, you could. I know you guys don't. I probably shouldn't be on a rival team's channel saying that. But yeah, GameEnthus is a good team too. And I support you guys when you're
yes, you certainly have. We appreciate it.
But and I think we hosted your stream or whatever. But yeah,
helped.
like we're looking forward to that because we have this office this year. So we're going to try to get as many people together. I know you guys always do a really good job of that. You figure out someone's house to kind of do it from. It was from your house last year, right, Tiny?
Yeah, up until this is the first year we are entertaining another house.
Oh my goodness. So we're probably going to all get together at the office in Ohio. And Mr. Sleepy just said he's going to start following GameEnthus.
Hey.
Because he said a friend of Asif is a friend of mine. So Thank you, Mr. Sleepy.
Glad to have you.
For hanging out with us tonight. But yeah, and if you're into the whole online community thing, head over to Shacknews and click on the forum button or chatty. We have a 23-year-old forum that's full of great people like Mr. Sleepy, and we're conversing about all sorts of things all day long there. And it's a nice place to talk on the internet that isn't Reddit or one of the chans or Twitter or Facebook. So if you're tired of modern social media, there's a very simple thread-based forum waiting for you over at Shacknews. And that's honestly my first and last thing that I do every day is check out my own forum. Because they're great and it's funny. And we actually integrated it into our site now. It's a tagging system called the lol page. So it incentivizes our users to post funny things. And you can check how many lols you have, and we just integrated the site with that. It was a user-created script that we integrated just this year. So yeah, we're doing all sorts of stuff there. I'm working on the phase 3 of this redesign. We relaunched it with the old school logo last year, and we implemented Mercury this year, and we're working on some other stuff. But yeah, it's been really exciting. You know, we're growing, we're independent, we're still doing our thing, and you know, we have a lot of people. We have a diverse team kind of spread out all across the world at this point. And we're doing our thing. We're doing it for Shacknews. But yeah, that's all. That's all I got. I don't need to.
All right.
Hey, Mike, what about you, sir?
Yeah.
I do, as always, encourage folks who are eligible to donate blood and folks who have pets to have them spayed or neutered. And that's that. So, Aaron, what you got?
Thank you, Asif, for coming back on the show. We appreciate your time.
Yeah, no, thanks for having me.
It's good catching up with you. I was going to say, if anybody listening is into tabletop games, board games, GameStop is doing like a 75% off clearance stuff. So if you check the website and something that you're interested in, you can check to see if it's at a local store and have them hold it. Like Tiny was nice enough to pick up Crystal Clans for me for like $250. I got the egg.
Like it said clearance $40 on it, and like ringed it up, and it was $2.50.
Yep.
I'm like, this is ridiculously inexpensive.
Yeah, I got the TMNT deluxe version of Munchkin. Samurai Jack game was like $4.99. The Stranger Things Eggo card game was $1.69 or something crazy like that. So yeah, if you like analog games, you should definitely check them out. Also, the Shovel Knight Kickstarter is going to start back up again, I think on the 13th or 15th of August. It's a Shovel Knight Duel, so Shovel Knight Dungeon Duel. So they're doing two versions: a $70 version with the miniatures, and then I think a $35 version with just the cardboard.
Like cardboard.
Yeah, the cardboard cutouts. So it's pretty dope. There's also a Black Panther game I saw at Target. Looks kind of cool as well. So yeah. Shout out to the listeners, folks in the chat. I know Javon was on earlier. Yeah, thank you all for listening to the show and supporting and giving us feedback. We appreciate it. Shout out to Cody. If you want to leave us an email, you can leave it at podcast@GameEnthus.com. If you want to leave a voicemail, you can always leave it at 202-573-7686. That's it for me.
Well, okay, I'm gonna finish it up. Hey, yo, we're prepping. If you're in the Philadelphia area, we're gonna be at Keystone Comic Con, which is being put on by Reed Pop. We're also gonna be hopefully at PAX Unplugged, so as well as Comic Con for Kids. So if you're at any of those events, come stop by the Extra Life booth, say hi, entertain me, because I go to a lot of events now. And I'll tell you about how you can raise money for your local Children's Miracle Network hospital.
He will.
So, you can sign up at extra-life.org, or you can follow the link on screen, or extra-life.org/team/GameEnthus. Go there, donate to your favorite GameEnthus personality. So, 100%.
Or go to Team Shacknews.
Or Team Shacknews, which though we've talked a lot about Ohio, supports a New Jersey hospital.
I know, it's complicated.
So, but anyway, yeah, like, hey, whatever hospital. I put this out yesterday partially because Philadelphia right now #1 in funds raised for this year so far.
I don't want LeBron children specialized. I don't want to do that to them. I don't want to be the Baltimore Ravens of Extra Life.
Yeah, no, you would. Oh, yeah, no. Honestly, I think your hospital reps would still come hurt me, and I would have had nothing to do with it.
Yeah, they'll be like, Tiny, it's all your fault. He's like, you went to Ohio.
I didn't do anything here. But anyway, yeah, you should. And hey, it's already August. I can't believe we only have like 4 months left in this year. So yeah, go to extra-life.org, sign up, and choose your hospital. There's 170 to choose from. 100% of what you raise goes directly to the hospital of your choice. So if you donate $20, $20 goes to your hospital. And yeah, do that, and then start setting up your game day. We have a survey out to all of our participants, asking when they want to get together because everyone's schedule is all, complicated with family and stuff. Mm-hmm. So yeah, check that out, donate that, and yeah, let's get out of here.
All right, yeah, it's quite late. Yeah, everybody, have a good night.
Yep. Good night.
Night.
Have a good one.
Michael, if you're still there.
Yes, sir.
I sent you the Google thing.